Tonight, we get to crown the season
Making it
Get home and I can get that drivers hoisting some more glory with multiple wins. We'll find out here on your Freaky Fast finale at Las Vegas. Pace car into pit road. Gavin Rogers, Zach Hall, they're 1-2 in points, and they're 1-2 to start out here tonight as we're green roaring down into turn number one.
Down in turn one, the important to see who can get this lap. Gavin Rogers going to use a little bit of the apron there, trying to get a good run.
Yeah, buddy,
get a good run going through. But is he going to clear coming out of turn two? Zach Hall's going to really go hard on the outside.
Second sounded so low.
Kevin Rogers from leading that lap.
It did on that restart, yeah.
The draft. Hall going to send it in here. Side by side through 3 and 4.
And there's been times in the past where
seemed to work okay though.
Never lead a single lap here at Las Vegas, and Zach Hall wants to make sure.
Yeah, no, I had good
lap one didn't run the pole, but he'll
second.
lead the first lap. Hall's gonna equal out his number, gets that one bonus point just here on lap number one. The rest of the field knows, okay, 1 lap down, still 159 laps to go. As right around for Gavin Rogers, trying to do everything in his power to lead a lap and just get that 1 bonus point. Get the distance back to just 2 points between Hall and Rogers. But a driver in third, he's in the green and black. It's Shane Terrian who wants to put the pressure on our championship drivers as the 9, right in the mix of 4 of our 6 championship drivers.
Yeah, it looks like Rogers is going to get that lap led, and he's looking to lead more now as he might clear Zach Hall coming on the outside, and now he's got to deal with the 9. Also, Zach Hall's going to drop first, back to third. Maybe, maybe not. They're going to stay side by side through this corner, though, but now Larry Yingling, as he jumping to the outside, the 32 now, falling back. Maybe he wanted to get up there, lead that lap, and decide, you know what, let me go back, keep these tires nice and cool still, because we might have a little bit of longer run.
As it was the lap previous, that Hall was 0.03 of a second ahead of Gavin Rogers. Rogers that previous lap fully committed to leading, and he will then get that 1 bonus point. So the gap's back down to 2, but Hall is disappearing.
I'm expecting to see Cedric that soon.
There's the crowd that's behind the 32 machine. You got Vincent Sora as well as Ryan Kelly willing to give up time and position to just save these tires for later on into this run. But with the way Las Vegas has been going, the way that
Let's see how he gets through the roadblock I was just looking at.
want to be this close to drivers on this track with netcode be very aggressive with the field. But speaking about aggression, up front almost was 3 wide for the lead as Larry Yingling wants to get up front, and he will put the pressure. They're going to go 3 wide into 3. Larry Yingling wants to get that bonus lap led. Hall's already done it. Rogers has already done it. Why not give it to the 3-time champ to be the 3rd championship driver to lead a lap here tonight, just on lap number 6.
And that was a move he made. He was able to hook the bottom and stay down there. And the 9 tried hard to side draft him, but you saw the 9 get a little twitchy there in the middle of the corners at 3 and 4, and he had to lift and get out of the throttle and kind of lost the momentum. But now he's going to fight back at 1 and 2 down the straightaway. It looks like he's going to have maybe the preferred line getting into the corner. He's got a little bit of drafting help. 67 super low, so going to pinch that car down. Probably going to hurt the exit speed. 67 going to have to lift here. I think he is, and the 9's going to clear him.
As the drivers are going through this race, looking at some of the field at this moment, big shocker right now. You can see him in 14th currently. Cedric Hunter has moved up 12 positions from where he started all the way back in last place. He is already past almost half the field to get up to this position. And Justin, with the stage break being only at the end of lap 30, there's not a lot of time. You've got to make these moves very quickly unless you're going to extremely save tires and make these passes late.
Yeah, that's the big question is how much did he heat up those tires, pushing them, but he made up time, no risk in staying in the back, trying to get to the front. So if there is an accident, hopefully he's hoping that's behind him. That's the big scare about starting in the back, but he's made up a ton of ground, and it might be showing that he's going to have a ton of speed. We expect him to be fast. Another driver who moved up from 11th up to 8th, that's Brian P. Johnson. So all our playoff drivers, they're starting to move to the front. It's now Cedric Hunter's going to try and get around Ryan Kelly.
As we've seen drivers talk about backing off and giving more space. Again, Hall has fallen out of
these guys are saving for sure.
Soaring out of 7. They have given up even more spots as this run has progressed forward. They're really thinking about the long game of gaining these positions back. Once tire becomes a bigger factor, but there's drivers ahead of them that I don't know if they're going to be playing as nice to give up these spots. we'll see as this race moves forward. Shocking drivers that have had some good runs that are being aggressive early on. Richard Wolsifer into our top 10 is the biggest mover up 6 positions. Is the 56th in 4th place. Again, showing up for this last race. Hasn't been here for most of the playoffs. And seeing Richard Wolsifer, also Jared Hughes back in 25th. Just a little bit more drivers out on track for Gavin Rogers. If there's a mistake by the 32, those are positions and points that some of these other playoff contenders were hoping to grab. 10 laps in the books, and it's Shane Terry up front. Larry Yingling lingers in second. Gavin Rogers third, and they're continuing to just ride in position as Terrian tries to pull away and has almost a half a second gap lead over second place runner. Richard Wolsifer closing in. Also Joshua Kanata, who was a driver who just missed out on making it to this championship round. He runs in 4th and 5th position in a decent run at this current moment. Up front, plenty of space all around. A little bit of action, though, in the middle of the field as the driver has trouble. I believe it was Christopher Norris who gets out of trouble for a quick moment as the battle for second rages on.
The battle for second might not be a battle too long because the 7.5 got a good run coming out of that corner. Larry Yingling drove up to the front in those first few laps, and now he's starting to fall back and slide into third, but he did get up there at least get a lap led. He has to feel good about getting that up there with when he was fighting with the 9. The 9 now is checking out about a half a second lead, 0.6 of a second lead, and we've seen speed all year out of Shane, so I would not expect to see anything less than him maybe put on a really good race tonight.
Yeah, Shane Terrian knocked out in the first round of the playoffs. Probably would have been one of the biggest threats this season to try to go for a championship. He actually finished second in points last season with 5 laps to go. The championship was in hand the last couple of laps. Found Benjamin Nelson having just the few positions he needed to win the championship. And if you're Shane Terrian, this is more of redemption of saying, I'm going to win this race. I don't care if you're a championship driver or not. There's a lot of other drivers that are looking for maybe just to find momentum before the season's end and return next season with a great run. One of those being Ken Campbell in that Campbell Soup Machine in the 15, watching Vincent Sora and Brian Noel go back and forth. Sora losing even more spots. He's now lost 6 positions since the drop of the green. We're into that zone where we're expecting that transition of if you take the tires, you're going to go forward. If you didn't, watch out. But for Vincent Sora, I mean, he's given up as well as Zach Hall so much time and ground. I'm worried for them, Justin, especially because a caution is looming because everyone from are just on top of one another.
Yeah, the fear.
Sorry about that, guys. Get you up there.
I always have is sometimes you save those
Oh, yeah.
that
was
back because
next got through it, Wade.
Sometimes even when the tires do wear out,
I thought we were going to wreck together for a moment.
Get that little bit of speed, and then
I didn't want to say anything, but I was in the middle of 3 wide with the 7 on the inside, the 24 on the outside, and the 38 on my back bumper.
Oh, good Lord.
Enough said.
Cue the I'm in danger meme.
Yeah. There he goes Norris. He wrecked into the building.
I hadn't had a chance to talk too much about him.
Further on back, Christopher Norris is in the grass. And he will keep us green.
But I do gotta give him credit though.
I
got loose and sideways there. I don't know if it was intentional or not, but he left me enough room to save it. So.
Did he say he lost force feedback?
I
don't know.
That will make you wreck faster than anything. Like losing it, especially in the middle of a corner. Sliding to the infield, sliding to the infield. We're green, we're green, we're green.
All right, thank you.
Clear. He's coming back up onto the track straight though, so it should be done.
Yep, I'm going to stay high here.
He has to go to pit road and serve that time. And for Norris, this is not the way he wanted.
All right, these things are starting to get a little loose.
Yeah.
Has the stage break for a yellow flag, but trouble striking for himself. Here's also another replay of Richard Wolsifer. As they were battling back and forth, they were for 4th and 5th, and they get out of sorts as Richard
up those right rears already.
As well does not bring out a yellow flag. That's right in front of Brian P. Johnson, and Johnson's got to be feeling lucky on the fact that his race is still rolling. But that battle for 5th, well, it's right back on. It's Brian P. Johnson and Zach Hall. Hall is on the charge to get these positions back.
Yeah, that's actual amazing work right there that you did, Sam. Tons of feedback on all those replays that we had on that action. Can't believe we got the broadcaster curse
loose
on
in the infield.
Richard Wolfeser, and right there looks like Brian Noel. He's got the curse too. He's going to slide through the infield, but able to save it.
Tires are falling away as we just press over to the halfway of this stage. Get stage break at the end of lap 40. Top 10 drivers get bonus points. And if you're part of the championship 6, Zach Hall, Gavin Rogers, Vincent Sora, Cedric Hunter, Larry Engling, and Brian P. Johnson, you need to be inside of the top 10. If you're not in the top 10, you don't get stage bonus points. Your championship hopes could already be snuffed out just in the first 40 laps of this long 160. As up front, it is already a pass. Shane Terrian having a little bit of a slip up. He's going to fall down to third position. Larry Engling takes the top spot back, and Gavin Rogers trying to build the momentum. The 75 with a huge run. He'll duck it down low to the inside quarter panel, trying to take back this lead position, and Rogers has the nose for now, but Yingling's going to have to run off the exit of the corner if he can stay off the wall. But we've seen these tires fall away, and they
I think
keep
several
it together.
people running the very bottom in 3 and 4 get
Across
super
the line.
loose.
It's Yingling
I
for
think
that
the
one,
middle's
but
starting to
just
be
we're
preferred
20
there.
laps in. We've
there,
already
okay.
seen about 4
Tempo.
drivers go through the grass in the last 4 laps.
Yeah, and we're seeing the drivers come and go. See that people that did save tires are able to make that ground up, and I mean, you got to give a huge shout out to drivers that are
Halfway
coming forward
stage.
that saved those tires. We were worried would they be able to make the passes back. Larry Engling, he came hard in the front to get that lap led, and then all of a sudden dropped back to third. But now look at us, back into the front and playing defense, trying to keep the 75 behind. But while these 3 drivers up here battle and put on a great show, 4th and 5th and 6th, they're coming fast.
They are trying to close in the gap. Last time around, Zach Hall, Vincent Sora, and Brian P. Johnson, the fastest trio out on course by 2/10 over the rest of the field. Everyone else ran about a 31.7-second lap time. While Hall, Johnson, and Sora ran a 31.5. They are trying to close in, and it helps on the fact that your top 3 are battling so hard. At moments, looks like they're trying to use the bump draft to carry the momentum, but Shane Terrian with the hard side drafting up front, he is holding back this group and pulling in some of his past teammates. Shane Terrian, former teammate with Brian P. Johnson and Zach Hall, last 2 seasons under the name of Carolina Reapers. Well, Shane Terrian helping former allies here tonight with bringing back Yingling and Rogers to Hall, because Zach Hall, Brian P. Johnson, Vincent Sora, they're here as Terrian stays high.
You see how loose he got coming out of that corner. He almost getting down into the 75 there for a moment, I thought. Luckily, Shane was really talented, able to keep it off of the driver underneath him of the 75, plus keep it off the outside wall. But look at that, drops back to 5th. The driver who was just about looking like he was going to take the lead. These cars are getting loose out of the corners, and it's making it fun, because I feel like these next-gen cars, sometimes they just get so tight that the racing kind of gets a little dull. And then these cars right now, they're so loose, they're free, they're driving coming out of the corner, and whoever has that grip right now in the rear seems to be able to plant it coming out of turn 4 and get that momentum. And right now, that's that 32 machine.
Zach Hall currently took the chance and qualified second. Didn't get that pull award he was hoping for, but it's okay. He's still showing some great pace, even with falling back all the way down to 7th position. Hall at one moment was 2.5 seconds off the leader. Now 2/10 behind Gavin Rogers, and about to have the run to catch up to that back bumper. Gavin Rogers knows he's got 15 laps to figure out how to hold back this 32 and have an advantage over Hall. Gavin Rogers already is just 2 points behind, even with all the bonus points that have been given out. Another point, maybe even 2 points, make it equal, make it just on the fact of finish ahead of Hall. This stage could really set a tone for Rogers here, as Hall is right there throwing it down low once again, but there's just not enough of a run. Zach Hall might have used up everything, or is it a settle and wait for these tires to cool off?
Oh, lap 26, I mean, we still have 15 to go, so what do they have for these final 15 laps? And you know, it's early to talk about it, but just who's going to get that lap led extra bonus point for leading the most laps? If these drivers are all cycling, they all got that 1 bonus point. So far, they've been racing hard to get that 1 point. But who's going to be that driver that gets that extra bonus point for leading the most? And that's something that is kind of a battle within a battle. Yeah, you don't want to cook your tires up too much, but if you can get that extra bonus point, that can go a big way later on. Is the 16th going to get really loose?
Cedric Hunter almost gets clipped. Cedric Hunter who snaps loose.
Can't believe he saved that. We're good.
Oh, Dave,
He got loose, and I ended up hitting him in the middle of the corner because he got loose.
Worked so hard from 26 now to
Just made it.
Still saved it.
Yeah, it made it that much worse.
In the
Yeah.
turn 4.
I thought you practiced this there in practice where you just push them right on around.
Oh,
Only
I
with
was
you.
so close to that rip bumper getting hooked, and that would have been night over. But this 13 machine, I am excited to see what he can do is once the stage caution comes out, because he is really, really fast. Let's remind everyone where he started. He started in the back, had a really bad qualifying issue, started in the back, but has driven up to 7th place, which is impressive. But Sam, even more impressive, only 2.3 seconds back. He's had to pass drivers, use his tires up, abuse the car, and he's still under 2.5 seconds behind these behind these leaders battling for the lead up front.
He was only 1/100th off of Gavin Rogers, our leader right now.
That's so sketchy in 3 and 4, man.
13 is just as fast as our leaders. He will be a threat once the stage yellow
My
comes
right rear
out.
is gone.
And like we just saw, it's a survival game as our top 6 all on top of one another. Within a second is Gavin Rogers all the way down to Vincent Sora. And they know every point so crucial for Gavin Rogers, Zach Hall. I mean, this is going to be the difference between a 1-point gap difference moving on after this stage is over.
Yeah, 1 and 2
for
feels pretty
Zach
solid,
Hall
but
to get
3 and
back
4 just feel like you're hanging out for dear life.
that he had entering this race. There is a lot right
I feel like I got plenty of time. I just don't have no speed.
2 cars ahead, 4 cars ahead of somebody is massive here with a field of 26 drivers, as Hall's going to go for another attempt to the lead position. Everyone else settles and waits as Vincent Sora and Shane Terrian, they solidify on where they're running at this moment, but a lot of hard battling is for the lead spot. And Hall is still unable to make the pass for the lead with now 9 laps to go on the stage.
Yeah, still not able to get to him. Looks like he's lost a little bit there coming down that front straightaway. But these drivers are going to be battling hard, as you said. Now with 8 to go, it's so impressive to see who can get to the front and establish themselves. I mean, getting the stage win is going to be massive, and you have to wonder, the driver sitting in 4th position, he's 7/10ths back. Can he give it his all in those final 8 laps, and can he get to the bumpers, and can he make a move around these guys and get those points that he's going to need to have a chance? And Ryan Kelly's going to have a big battle here coming out of the corner. As you see, looks like Danny Cochran back there in the 2 got a little loose coming out of the corner. Seems like turn 4 is where these drivers are definitely getting loose.
A little bit loose, and I'm looking at some of the drivers that are still closing. This pack has been on top of one another. They've really not given any space, and I got to give kudos on the fact that we haven't seen a wreck from this group. I know we saw Joshua Kanata snap loose, and Cedric Cummings able to just blitz his way through this pack, but it has been on top of one another's nose racing as Ryan Kelly to the top, Ken Campbell in the middle, and Tom Sinchek, a driver who's also had past success here, runs on the inside through, but driver I'm still impressed by. Cedric Cummings, maybe 7th was the far enough position he was going to grab. No, make it 6th. Hunter making the pass to get up front to 6th position as he gets by the 9 of Shane Terrian, or at least attempting to get by. As Ryan Kelly, Tom Sinchek, they were dealing with that lap car. Justin Forbes, who continues to stay high and letting the field drive on by. But again, this is so impressive by Hunter. He went from last, absolutely dead last at the start of this race, to this now 6th place position, 20 places grabbed in 35 laps.
Yeah, Hunter has to be thinking, if he could have just had a top 10 qualifying, just something even in the middle of the pack, just to give him a little bit closer to the front of this field to start the race, could he be up there battling for this stage win? I mean, right now he's up to 6th, so super impressive regardless. 2.3 seconds back is what he's been. But the thing is, he passed another car and is still at 2.3 seconds, actually knocking down at 2.2 now. So he's gaining time even getting through the field. He's going to run out of laps before the stage. But Sam, he's going to be so impressive to watch. I mean, you would have to think the track's going to rubber up and change a little bit. So, I mean, but all these drivers are going through that, so he should be in good shape.
The only thing that makes this run, I mean, it's so impressive. That's why we keep
like a damn skating rink.
But it is also a heartbreak of it wasn't for nothing, because all the drivers that he needs to...
Wait, I hope they had that big battle right there on the broadcast.
Is going to be exiting out of this
for P20.
He's losing time
Kidding,
to
yeah.
Hall, to Rogers, to Johnson.
I thought you were gonna chop my nose off there.
At this point, he's going to turn this race
Nah, I seen you coming.
I was joking, yeah. Wreck each other for 20th.
To get caught up in a wreck, and then you have a chance for the championship.
I feel we always need to make it to the end.
Yep. Yeah.
That's the goal.
First goal. Survive.
Similar on the ways they were exiting out of the corner. Outside driver keeps the position. That's Gavin Rogers up front for the lead, and it's Larry Yingling for this fourth place position. As the likes of Vincent Sora then battling back and forth. This could give a chance for Hunter to close in this gap, get back in the fight. Maybe a couple of more positions could be grabbed. We move back up to this lead position. 3 laps to go, making now more of 2.5. And Hall is still in the same spot he's been in for the last 10 laps. He can't find an opening to get by Gavin Rogers. He's doing a fabulous job defending. It's a 75.
Yeah, but right now he might have a chance. He's got the right front tire to the left rear quarter panel. They're going to get close going into the corner, and the 32 is going to send it down to the bottom of the 75, try and get down there in a side draft. 32, he's backing up here now, exiting the corner. Is he going to slide up into him? He's going to be able to pinch it down. But this 75 with the rocket machine down the back straightaway has that big run off of turns 1 and 2. But now the 32 fights back, getting down to the bottom. They're going to be coming out of this corner again, side by side, trying to get here and coming to 1 to go.
Gavin Rogers entered into this race with 3 wins. Majority of those wins were at road courses where he just showed utter dominance. When he went to the oval tracks, Rogers' biggest weakness was long run and having the speed to hold off everybody. His tires would fall away, and at this moment, Rogers continues to show growth throughout this season. The rookie that entered in, who would be watched here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting, dominate other series, look unstoppable at times. Here tonight, Rogers continues on his step-by-step move.
Can't believe we survived, boys.
Yeah, that is impressive with how many of us lost it.
Rogers at the line. He is your stage winner.
Freaking blast.
Talk about turning right to go left.
Battle right there.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on.
To the line. Now, these drivers are going to
I'll have to pick up my right rear tire carcass under caution.
Good pit stop, so they got to have a good restart. Don't want to
I left it somewhere between 3 and 4.
Look at our top 6. It's going to be
definitely going to be saving more this next run.
They are all
yeah.
up to the top, which it feels like this always happens in championship
Underestimated
races.
that
I mean, just,
by a lot.
Whoever has the worst right rear get the cookie.
Lap 20, I was like, oh, this is not good.
You know that if you're gonna win the
I made it up to P8, and then they just started driving away, and I'm like, man, I'm gonna end up like 30th. But and there's only 26 cars. But yeah, I got 10th though. I somehow got a top 10 out of that. So. But there were like 3 or 4 people that got in front of me that then
it's gonna be fun to watch, and as you said,
a couple had help.
The top 6 getting into the top 6, but of course they're there for a reason. There's 6 of the best drivers out here, obviously. But I also think that some of the people on the field are like, you know what, we really like these drivers. We respect them. It's a league that has a ton of respect, and some of those guys also are like, when you get to me, I'm gonna let you go by because I don't want to be the reason that we end up getting in a wreck. They want to make sure you go out there and have a fair chance. So I think it's a combination of so much.
It certainly is. As the field enters into pit road, it is time to see how this field reacts. Will they get themselves in pit road, going to get service done? Everyone expected to get 4 tires in fuel. And for us in the booth, though, we are going to take our first commercial break. For a commercial break, we will be back right after this. Racing action.
You see that? You got spun.
I saw smoke up there. I didn't see exactly what happened.
Oh no, Maitland said he got turned right into the pit wall. I was 86, 83.
What were y'all?
84, 72.
84, 77 here.
72.
Yeah, I was at 64.
Radio check to the pit crew, guys.
Okay, definitely wasn't that bad.
83, 74. So.
Okay.
So do I get the cookie? Oh, Shane at 60.
60, and they were all the way up there?
Yeah, but like they were coming back.
Okay.
And I also noticed, so it's like if it got sketchy, you had to kind of baby it for like 3 or 4 laps, but then if you went back to it, you could start using it again.
Oh, Josh, just for the record.
So I was babying it for too long.
Fantastic.
That's what happened to me. I got like loose once, and it was just terrible for 2 laps. Lost a bunch of spots, and then I started regaining it.
Yeah.
At salmon and steak, it was awesome.
Heat. I was, well, okay, it's low only because,
And
like,
it was free.
we came into pits, so you can't trust it.
Oh, that's the best kind of food right there.
Yeah, it was 215.
Yeah, it was
probably.
220.
Probably why it tasted better.
There's no way it was that low, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely going to save more this run.
Oh, Cedric fell all the way to the back again.
What?
He's in 21st.
Jeez, he was all the way up there in the top 10.
Is he the one that got... Wait, who got spun?
I don't know.
I think there may have been two. I think there was one at the back of pit road and like one like up near the leaders. Well, but he wouldn't have been up there though because he qualified bad, so he would have been at the back.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Danny, you're gonna buy me
Top
dinner.
5 are all playoff guys, and then you've got Cedric in the back.
Yeah.
That'd be the
Wow.
gentlemanly thing to do.
He didn't do 800 laps.
He'd be winning if he did. That's the only data point we got. You run 800 laps of practice, you win the race.
Exactly.
Y'all can make fun all you want, but I'm 1 for 1 when I do that. So
I'm gonna choose the outside.
I want to see it happen again.
I will never be 1 for 2. I'll tell you that.
One to go. You're on the outside. 30.591.
Hi, Brian.
I have a feeling it's going to be real aggressive on the start around me.
Yeah, I got took it 3 wide and like turn 3, so good luck.
Well, I hope you get punted going into 1, sir.
I hope you
Tell
get
me
right
good
though.
luck.
How about that?
Good luck to you too. How about that?
Those are fighting words.
You better take it back. You better take it back right now.
I'm sorry, I take it back. Go get wrecked.
Go get punted. Yeah.
Base cars off, be ready.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Freaky Fast finale at
Gone.
Las Vegas for your
Thank you.
WSSR Season 9. We're back to Green Flag Racing.
Apparently they were all in first gear.
Though, as Vincent Sora was able to take advantage under pit road stop, Zach Hall dropped down to 3rd. But it's your championship.
Clear.
5 out of the 6 are up front. One driver, though, had to fall back. That's Cedric Hunter. Mistakes were made under pit road. And it's heartbreak to see Justin and Cedric is all the way down to 20th position for this start.
Ooh,
He's gonna
tight that
climb
first
his
lap.
way all the way up once again.
It's just so unfortunate, but he's going to put on a show, I think. Again, he knows how fast the car is. He's going to go 3 wide right here on lap 1 on the restart, trying to make up ground, and he's going to do it. Get by to 56 and the 07. He's going to try and get by to 12, so he's just going to pass cars. But it's just getting scary for him now because this race is getting shorter and shorter, and we don't have that guaranteed caution now. So, Sam, if we don't have the guaranteed caution, how's he going to make up all this time? He's just going to keep passing these drivers. He's going to get contact here potentially. So close to the 2. He's stuck behind the 14 on the inside, and this is the problem. He's pushing hard, and now he's losing ground because he's stuck on that inside. He's got the 14 in front of him.
But inside lanes where you want to be if you want to protect your tires at the same motion. So it's not the worst place to be, but like I said, you're losing time overall. You're hoping drivers in front of you will just naturally move to the outside, but everyone else is battling for position. They don't have to get out of your way, even though you're one of the championship 6. You've got to make the passes on your own. Cedric Hunter, I think I agree with what Colley's put in the chat. If Cedric is racing on hard mode here tonight, he's put the most difficult way to try to go for a win and compete And again, for Cedric Hunter, he's in a boat where he needs all other 5 drivers to have major mistakes to give him a chance to run for this championship and take the gold at the end of this evening. But up front, one driver finally gets to the top spot. It's Brian P. Johnson. Lingers, finally gets up front, and it will finally lead a lap here tonight on lap 50. Johnson now going to be the championship driver to lead a lap here tonight.
3 wide.
So that's another bonus point divvied out. Only 2 drivers yet to lead a lap.
Going hard here.
It's Cedric Hunter so far this evening, number championship 6.
We're 4 laps into this tent. Cedric's already up here.
Talk about Brian P. Johnson starting
Oh,
back
he
in
is
11th spot.
running like a madman.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he's already passed like 35 cars in this race.
Ollie was his lead blocker.
Some of those other guys who were leading laps. Plus, maybe he could have potentially got that stage win, which would have been important. But right now, these drivers are battling. And look at this, the 13. He is just wow. I mean,
this is what I'm chuckling about. Where did he come from? Cedric Hunter from 20th to 6th. In just 2
I will say though, Cedric did that last time and he didn't fall off. So.
I think he finally went to the outside because he is flying right now, even quicker than the first 30 laps that he got to the front. Cedric Hunter is back with the championship 6.
Yeah, he is. I mean, I was wondering what you were laughing about there in the background, and all of a sudden we get on the camera, and I'm like, wait, how is he hit by Larry Yingling? It was just 6 cars behind him in a matter of 30 seconds.
And Hunter is attack mode. Larry Yingling and Vincent Sora now are dropping back. And Hello Kitty is now up with his teammate Zach Hall, and he is going on full go mode. And now for Cedric Hunter, again, he needs the other championship 6 to have mistakes if he's going to go for a championship. So at this point, you drive as hard as you can, you put the pressure on everyone else you're racing the championship against, and you just hope that someone, if he gets set in the wall, has a pit road mistake, but you have the track position now, and you just know at least I'm away from the chaos. Where Vincent Sora, on the other hand, has backed off so much, he's now in the hornet's nest. Back here with Ryan Kelly, Richard Wilsifer, and Ken Hammer.
Exactly. These drivers, it looks like they're at a mini Daytona right there through the corner, side by side, multiple drivers. I have to wonder, Sam, is this 13 to Cedric Hunter? Just throwing this out there. We know these drivers all have to make at least 1 pit stop. If they go the rest of this race, if this race stays green from the caution, they can go up to 66 laps, we're thinking. So if you divided it by 2 with how many laps is left, it was about 58 laps each stop. Maybe Cedric Hunter's thinking, I'm going to do 35. Maybe he's going to make 2 stops, trying to maximize the tires and take the extra stop. I don't know. I'm just thinking. I'm just saying maybe that's something he was doing. He's going to drive as hard as he can, gain as much time, and maybe that's something thinking right there. Just a strategy call.
Yeah, I mean, it is certainly a gutsy call, and it might be the most gutsiest call. Could get you in a position to maybe win this race, because 2 stops from here on out would be a very risky, just on the fact of how much time you're giving up. But speaking about time, I mean, our leader right now, Brian B. Johnson, he's still about 3/10 off of his fastest lap, but he's been one of those drivers being aggressive, building up a gap. Everyone else has been patiently saving their tires. They're trying to think of longevity. They're looking at second, third, fourth. I mean, based off their fastest lap to now, those grouping of drivers are over a half a second slower. So, and we're 13 laps, 35 laps into this run. I mean, the numbers might line up that doing a 2-stop could be faster if you're hitting your marks and putting down burner lap after burner lap, and it just sequences out for you to carry out more speed than those that are trying to stretch out their tires for a long duration of time.
Speaking of drivers that are maximizing speed, they might not be fighting for the championship, but that 24 of Olaf Sagan and 56 of Richard Wolfesser, he's back up front. I mean, we talked about him before, and he went flying through the infield, so I don't know if we want to risk jinxing him again. But he's putting on a show. He's driving back to the front. He's back up to 4th spot, which is where he was running earlier in this race.
Richard Wilsifer took a long hiatus from iRacing competition. Came back a few years ago, and it was WSSR that made his first home for coming back to sim racing, and it was a few seasons ago where Richard has grown into becoming a more faster, more consistent driver. But in his early times, we saw him here on WSSR, these early, very quick, just go as fast and pour out as fast as you can on these tires. What's his old strategy?
Just been babying it, just running it. It's such a different feel than 12 laps in last time.
As all these drivers
Yeah, it is. Same back here.
So if we do, for some reason, get a caution at this point, you've got that
Track's,
extra set pit road
cooling off too, I think. That's helping.
Run hard, we might get that late caution that we've seen come out in those final 40 laps or so, and also in the middle of three-point pit stops. So drivers might be having different strategy calls, which one will be the best, but big kudos to Ollie Fonseca as he's trying to do a similar run to Cedric Hunter and push their way forward. But that 13, I think he's hit his wall, and he's fading quick.
All very informative information right there, Sam, and I think the biggest thing you said was right what you ended with. 13, I'm worried about him too. He's dropping now through the field and also losing time. He's lost over 1.2 seconds just in like the last 3 to 4 laps. I mean, he pushed so hard. I know he did it the first time by, but maybe it was different. I don't think he drove as hard through that field. I mean, it was like 3 laps that he passed 14 cars, I feel. I just don't know how much is left in that car, and I hope for the Cedric Hunter fans that he's able to get it figured out, but he might need a caution.
Where I just saw a patch of grass that was from North Wilkesboro.
I mean, I think what might have happened, Cedric Hunter made the aggressive push.
You just want to like wait again.
4 laps, and now is
Yeah.
back off.
Oh, yeah.
Those tires, make them
Really is
last a little bit
the simple
longer
things
and
in
stay
life, you
close
know?
to your championship contenders. While the other group that's just running for a win, you got Richard Wolsifer, Ollie Fonseca. They are still pushing forward. Ollie Fonseca's not just moved up to 24th, but Richard Wolsifer right in the mix of our championship drivers. The 56 has been making a lot of dive bomb sliding moves, and he's trying to get in the mix here, but I think his tires are starting to fade. But Richard Wolsifer, a valiant effort for himself currently, and Ollie Fonseca as well, in an issue where the 24 starting to fade. And this actually, seeing the 24, the 56, the way that they're running around.
Is that a leader or a lap car?
It's our season 1 WSSR champ. That's
almost
2.5 seconds ahead of this pack.
Actually?
Yeah. He
Oh,
has
wow.
opened up a huge lead.
Everybody else, like P2 is a second or 1.2 ahead of me. The leader is 3.8.
The most potentially, which
Oh, wow, okay.
really helps solidify himself later in this race if he needs that extra point. The bonus point for leading
Ah,
most laps. Very
Yeah.
important, something will keep the cabs on.
Yeah, and it is almost a must for Brian P. Johnson. He's going to win this championship. Again, Brian P. Johnson, Larry Yingling, and Cedric Hunter. I would say those 3 drivers, I mean, everyone in a must-win scenario, but they are in a must-win scenario, and you need Zach Hall to practically finish last here tonight to still have a mathematical chance for this championship. Otherwise, you just attack,
that was
go as
sketchy.
aggressive as you can.
Yeah.
Hope for the best as tonight's race.
I tried to give him room, but he didn't want it.
To go as we're not even halfway. Up front, we've seen flipping a back and
Now
forth.
you're 3 wide.
Who's gonna be patient, who's not? Well,
That's what you get.
with Ollie Fonseca being passed, Gavin Rogers has finally got a clean air, and that almost 2.5 second gap, it is already shrunk to 2 seconds. Gavin Rogers wants the lead back, and Zach Hall does not want that 75 to just pull away with ease.
go.
Hall is now trying to run down Gavin Rogers.
Yeah, he is. And like you
Yeah,
said,
that tire saver probably just to burn it all up there.
Yeah, too soon before these drivers are all going to be right there on Brian P. Johnson. It's about 2 seconds even, 2.1 right now through the corners. We'll see what it is at the line, but the 32, as you stated, he wants to stay close to the 75. Stay
Looks
in
like
his
it's
draft
starting to get more
down,
playful up
maybe
here.
try and save
Some
a
of the
little bit
guys
tire
that
here, or run at the bottom,
drove up harder
getting that clean air on the cars, the
coming
75
back,
drift, something
but it's
like
not
that.
slow enough that
But I
they're
would
just dropping,
expect
you
if
know?
Brian P. Johnson pushed
Yeah.
hard, these drivers are now going to start catching him. But the thing
Yeah,
is,
it's like how much do
he's
you
out
ride
there leading
behind
laps
them
for
or
28.
try to
He's
or
been
run
down
your stuff up
good
in the
lap time
process?
still.
You know?
I know they're catching him, but if he can lead another 5 to 10 laps, that could go a long ways towards getting that bonus point.
Be just a long race if we can get it done. Looking at drivers that have led the most laps and won the race, or just led the most laps and got that bonus point. There's only been one driver that truly dominated at this race course, and it was Cedric Hunter back in season 3. He led 114 of 167 laps. Everyone else, it's been less than a third of the race that's been led, and they were crowned the most laps led driver. So a lot of these drivers know anywhere from 50 to potentially 60 laps led could gift you that bonus point. We already seen Gavin Rogers be up front and led up the majority of that first stage. He just needs maybe another 20 to 25 laps, and then he could be in that high position leading the most laps. And Brad P. Johnson, you know, to fight on. Stay up there, lead as many laps as you can, because later on this race, when there are pit stops, that's when you can maybe be gifted back to that most laps led position.
Still out there.
For sure. And I mean, he's 1.5 seconds now, so he's going to be thinking, how many more laps can I lead? That's going to be the big goal for him. But Zach Hall, he's got to get around the 75, because the 75 being out front right now, if he's going to take over this race lead eventually, as we are predicting, that could go a long ways towards him getting that bonus point. But right now, Zach Hall's right behind him. I mean, they're right on top of one another, and they're coming for this 28. It's going to be a battle. The next question is going to be who of our remaining championship 6 can get up there.
Like, I want to turn it up, but we're still only a third of the way into the run.
Strong, Maitland.
Let's see it. There we go. Thank you.
No
caution.
Take a flex there for that.
Trouble striking for himself, as he's going to get almost rear-ended, trying to slow down with Richard Wolsifer off the exit of turn 4. Richard was really slow, and it hurt badly on the pace, as we'll take a replay of it. But Douglas Newbegin was trying to go for a big pass, but it was trouble in front of him. The 56 is going to snap loose, slows down, and Douglas Newbegin, quick to react, slams and brakes, goes down in the grass, and goes for a ride, hitting ramp after ramp, and ultimately going for a spin. This does not bring out a yellow flag. We stay green, but Douglas Newbegin's just frustration for this season continues to linger on.
Maybe you.
Yeah, that was really just up and down right there on the front straight.
Yeah, y'all got checked out because of what just happened.
But up front, these drivers aren't frustrated because they're about to
still
battle
way
for
up there,
second
my
position, and maybe the lead are now 1 second behind the 28. Zach Hall is going to drive it in.
Catch flyer, C forward.
Really good long run speed. The 75 is going to slide high. Now move back to 3rd spot. Nick Crawford in 4th. These drivers are all slowly catching Brian P. Johnson. I say slowly, but it's getting faster and faster, it seems, each lap now.
It is certainly been getting quicker and quicker as Zach Hall, that last lap, a 31.4 second lap time, and it was to a 31.7 for Brian P. Johnson. Once again, even with that pass, Zach Hall continues to show extreme strength. And for the 32, I'm curious, with getting past Gavin Rogers, what seemed like so easily there, was that a tactical move by Rogers to save his tires, to go into attack mode, or was that a mistake? Because Zach Hall, he would look like the faster driver in the long run coming to the end of the stage, but just never could get a full pass made because the outside lane
I was just chilling with all of them, now they're just logging away.
If Rogers will have enough speed to try to go for a pass on this 32, and also for Brian P. Johnson, how hard is he willing to fight Zach Hall here, or will he just lay over and let this race come to him? Because Brian P. Johnson, if you look at the long run pace the last 2 weeks, he's been horrendously terrible, and he's hoping that could change. It won't. He's gonna have to fight on the outside, but Hall is there, and Hall's looking for the better run. He finally will get it. Johnson with a little wiggle, and Hall back to the point.
I think that answers your question right there, how hard the 28 was willing to fight. He was willing to fight as hard as he could because he had the car a little sideways coming out of the corner. He was trying to gas it up and stay alongside the 32. Pinch Zach Hall down, but he was not able to do it. The 28 now is losing speed. I mean, now this is where he's going to be in dirty air, and these drivers are all behind, and now you have to worry. He pushed so hard to get that big lead, and now it's all gone, and he's going to be under pressure here. Can he stay inside the top 10? So if we do get a caution, at least he's going to be up front to get a good restart. But if he keeps fading like we've seen in the past, can he fall outside the top 10? That could be detrimental to his night.
31.7.
Stick with our top 2. For Zach Hall, this pass so crucial. Because for Zach Hall, if he runs with how close Gavin Rogers is in points now, with winning the stage, winning the pole, leading a lap, on track to lead the most laps, Gavin Rogers, if he won this race, even with Zach Hall right behind him, Hall, who entered the night with a +3 advantage, would have lost this championship. Even with running in second, Gavin Rogers has hit every mark possible.
Like, I don't want to distract you, but your car's so good looking under the sunset. Or really, just, I don't think it's sunset. It just looks like sunset. That blue is so nice.
Other championship drivers, they're trying to find themselves in a comfortable position. I'm looking back at other drivers that have been having some good runs.
It is 4 in the afternoon.
Drivers maybe trying to play a little bit of spoiler this evening.
He has
Ryan
game
Kelly
chat
runs
off.
7, Nick Crawford runs 6. Both drivers
It looks like not that okay.
to someone that's in our championship 6. Nick Crawford, teammate to Zach Cole and Cedric Connor. Larry Yingling, teammate to Brian Kelly, teammate of Larry Yingling. Those drivers, they can be a key factor on, are you willing to get out of the way? Maybe block someone a little bit harder? It's going to be factors as we look at as this race progresses on, as we're closing in on the halfway of tonight's race. And Justin, I mean, this has been a picture-perfect championship race. Everything you can ask for, we're seeing right now of your favorites doing well, drivers showing adversity on the fact that they're willing to continue to fight even after mistakes, and we're still have over 80 laps to go.
Yeah, we have not had any shortness of excitement. It's been a tremendous race. I mean, right now, something that was going on in my mind is, you said his name for probably the first time tonight. You see him on camera, the number 3 machine. How many times do we say each week, Sam, well, Ryan Kelly, we haven't heard too much out of him, and then before you know it, halfway comes, and he's up to 3rd, up to 2nd, leading laps, walks away with the race. I mean, he's slowly making his way up there now. He's up to 5th. I know he's not in the championship race, but definitely deserves to be talked about because he's one of the best drivers in this league each week, and he could be, he might just drive to the front and walk away with this race. And we might be talking about who's going to finish 2nd and walk away with the championship.
It really could, as talking about Ryan Kelly up front, Gavin Rogers gave his first attempt.
I can't figure out what they're doing,
Expecting of
but
many,
it's something.
goes for the lead position. Zach Cole defends as he runs that middle groove. I think Gavin Rogers up front might have recognized if you're going to make a pass, you're going to have to go to the outside this late into the run.
They ran a few more laps than you.
It's like they've got a higher entry into 3, but all that's doing is making me looser.
A little bit higher each and every lap.
Loose is fast.
Corner, and as they continue to battle back and forth, Vincent
you're right.
Sora,
Except when Loose is wrecking.
Lingers behind as we hop on board.
Just don't get pushed.
The Sundance Pizza machine of Gavin Rogers.
All right.
It was great view on who's driving what. It looks like the 75's able to roll through that corner a little bit better. He's going to get to the outside. The 32 will have to come up and block. He was not able to. 75's going to have a. He's going to be able to pinch the 32 down low. What can the 32 do? He's going to drive it in hard and try to slide up front, maybe. Slide up in front of him. He's going to do it. He's going to have a big run coming out of this corner, though. Will the 75 push the 32 off into this corner with more speed than he's willing?
Me talking, you just called meddling. Dang, take off from me.
Yeah, I know. What happened to my car here, but
I think for Rogers, recognizing, okay, I don't need to make the pass here. Instead, puts the pressure on Hall. Hall gasses up, gets a little bit wiggling sideways. Here's a chance for a dive bomb move for Gavin Rogers to take the point. Rogers has the nose, has a half a car length down below. Major side draft from Hall, and the side draft was enough. He stalls out the 75, and Rogers stays in 2nd place. And knock, knock, here comes the 2-time champ.
We get the right tires.
Sora has entered the picture.
Yeah. 51 coming while these two battle.
We got that hard
you
compound.
Said, Sam, that was a big difference there. The 32, when he was on the outside of the 75, it seemed like going into turn 1 and 2, Zach Hall, he really made an emphasis to side draft and kind of stall the 75 out in that corner and take that air off the spoiler and make the car not handle. Whereas the corner before that, the 75 was on his outside. He gave the 32 more space. He just didn't really utilize that side draft and kind of suck around the car on the inside. And I think that was a difference on how Zach Hall was able to keep the lead.
As Zach Hall once again trying to hold and close that outside wall. Don't let the 75 have a chance to get it outside, but instead, Hall also knows Vincent Sora looking for some clean air. Hall has to find a way to defend both lanes. He'll move up, gives a little bit of dirty air off the exit of the corner to Rogers, and it tightens up that 75 where he has to back off, not able to utilize that huge run that the outside lane usually gives you, and instead, it gives a chance to the 51. As now we're seeing that nightmare fuel machine. It's Vincent Sora with the nose ahead of Rogers. And like you just poked out and noticed on, Ryan Kelly up to 4th, but tagging along in the pink. Cedric Connor's fight is not over. He's now battling for 4th place.
Yeah, we were worried about the 13, but I don't know if we have to be worried anymore. Yeah, I think you called it, Sam. You said maybe he backed off and decided, you know what, let me run the next 10 to 12 laps. Kind of cool the tires off. He fell back to 9th, was losing time. 31, but now he's gaining it back. I think he's going to be one to watch out for. We know he's got tremendous speed. He's been passing cars all race. We know he's driving that car hard. He's been passing everyone. If if he ever gets to the front, he might not have to pass anyone. He could just focus on
Dude's
saving
looking
tires.
everywhere. He's up at the very
This
top.
race potentially, but we've said that
I
about
can't
every
find any
driver.
grip.
I think everyone's been up there leading at one point tonight.
Yeah, everyone wants a chance. Still, the championship 6. There's 2 that have yet to lead a lap. That's Vincent Sora as well as Cedric Hunter, and they run 4th and 3rd currently. And Cedric Hunter still is trying to get by Ryan Kelly. If possible, finally will be able to clear. So now it's the 2 drivers that have been dominating, and the 2 that have been waiting patiently for their chance to attack. It's Cedric Hunter, Vincent Sora. Where could they find an opening here, or is it going to come all the way down to a pit stop here late? Again, these drivers have been running on 43-lap old tires and fuel. As Gavin Rogers looks for an opening to the inside, he's going to have the nose ahead. Not able to lead that lap. It will go to Zach Hall, but Hall still has a chance. He's been side drafting aggressively off the corner, and Vincent Sora's going to follow. Will Sora have the big enough run to try to go 3 wide off the exit of this corner into 3? Not able to do so, but he'll give a chance. Sora to the inside for 2nd place.
Now he's going to look to the inside and see what he could do, trying to roll up there, and he's got to clear the 75 come out of this corner. The 75, you see him get a little twitchy again, kind of crossing over those seams. He's not going to be able to get by, but he's going to have a little bit of drafting help. The 32 is going to pull down. Right now, is this Zach Hall saying, let me play both of these lanes and give each driver a little bit of drafting help, try and keep them side by side so that they both abuse their cars. But while they do that, the 13 is coming.
He certainly is there, and we are now 20 laps away from when you're expecting drivers to maybe think about pit stops. Also, the pit window will officially be opening up in just 8 to 9 laps. That is going to be the furthest distance if you're not calculating for overtime that you can do an early pit stop. And who could potentially be that driver to watch out for? I think it could be the 67 of Larry Yingling might be that championship driver to make the early pit stop, as Vincent Sora, his first attempt to try to go for the lead position, not able to do so. Rogers, though, follows Zach Hall, trying to give a bump, trying to push ahead, now slides down low, and Gavin Rogers almost able to do a slide job move on Hall, but Hall continues the side draft, continues the pressure, and Rogers with the slight wiggle, but he keeps the nose ahead as they cross the line. It's Hall who leads this lap.
Hall gets 1 extra more lap right there, something we'll often talk about later in this race if it comes down to just a tie on lap sled or how close it is. I mean, it's just so interesting. And these drivers are all just kind of in this group stuck together now, and we have to talk about it. Brian P. Johnson, he fell back to 6th. We were worried maybe he was going to fall back further with how hard he drove in the beginning. I think he realized he was able to cool the tires, and now he's right back in it. I mean, it's going to come down to pit stops. Is someone willing to go in early and get the tire advantage, but will they pay that price? Or will they go in early, get the fresh tires in, and maybe just run really easy? Maybe try and get 2 or 3 laps sooner in the pit road and not run hard at all on those tires. Maybe just try and get a 2 or 3 tenths of a second advantage. But if you could build up a lead and then, I don't know. I don't even know where I'm going with this, Sam. There's so much going on. There's so much strategy play on this final pit stop.
Yeah, the fuel window we were given was 66, potentially 68 laps. You could push the fuel. 66, you feel comfortable. Anything more than that, we have seen drivers attempt major fuel-saving runs, and we've seen cautions happen in the last few weeks, a lot in the middle of a green flag pit stop. This track is not the easiest place to get into pit road, quite easy to make mistakes, and with the wear and tear we were hearing from drivers, they were giving reports in their driver chat, giving each other data of what was your tires like after the stage break. And the stage was only 40 laps, and we stayed green all the way through.
All right, 10 more laps, still halfway on this run here.
Front tires being all the way down to 60%
what?
wear. They only had 60%
wear. I thought you were saying in this tank, and I was like, no.
Nope. No. Yeah, just on these tires. See, if you pit with 59 to go, that'll be halfway on these tires.
Yeah, I thought you were saying halfway on this run, like we had to go this many more on these tires.
Yeah,
I've been fuel saving back here.
Yeah.
When you say that, it makes you not want to pit too
you
early.
hush your dirty little mouth right now.
As of right now, if you were to pit, you still got to go 67 laps, which would be max distance on fuel. So these drivers are probably wanting to stay out as long as they can, so they have the pressure rubber for the end. But if someone does go in early, they're going to have a big advantage, and then your job's going to come down to trying to catch them. And we see drivers be able to catch people who have big leads, but the problem's going to be, can you do it? Because you're not going to have that caution. Everything's going to come down in the pit stops. You got to have a great stop, as now the 13's up to 3rd position, got around the 51 of Vincent Sora. Gonna try and set his sights on getting around the 75 and the 32 and lead that first lap of the night for the 13.
And if you're Vincent Sora, Cedric Hunter, Ryan P. Johnson, Larry England, your nightmare for this championship, if you'd like to win it, is that the top 2 drivers are the top 2 points. If it comes down to Zach Hall and Gavin Rogers being 1-2, it's whoever wins this race on who's going to win the championship. There's 1 bonus point for winning the championship. So technically, if you win the race and your competitor finishes second, that's 2 bonus points that are added at the end of this race. On top of, Gavin Rogers and Zach Hall both would like to be known as the driver that led the most laps. That's an extra bonus point. Hall needs every point possible, as he's only got just a 1-point advantage over Gavin Rogers at this moment.
Yeah, just 1 point. It's just so close. But the 13, he's getting
loose on the backstretch at the bottom.
His 1 point lead in a lap. Both of these drivers are going to enter high, the 32 and the 75. The 13 is going to have that clean air on the bottom. Is he going to get the run? He's going to come out side by side. But does he have the drafting help? Looks like the 32 is going to try and keep them both side by side. He's going to give a little help to the 13, a little help to the 75, trying to play the leader and keep these guys side by side. But it's going to get harder and harder as they get faster and faster behind him.
And this is that hard spot if you're Cedric Hunter, because you know that you're running for a championship. Zach Hall's your teammate. He's also running for the championship. Hall is the ultimate favorite at this moment with where he runs. If you're the 13 Hello Kitty machine, the only way you're winning this championship is by winning this race and have your competition wreck out. But do you play a little bit defensive? As Gavin Rogers snaps loose off the exit of turn 4, there's the opportunity. Now up to second. It's Hello Kitty who's been putting all the pressure and working his way from last to the top 6. Now from 20th up to 2nd, but Vincent Sora playing a little bit of spoiler to the inside. The 51 wants that 2nd place position, but Hunter holds steady on the outside ground, and with Hunter playing so defensive, willing to side draft this hard for just 2nd place, it's giving Zach Hall all the spacing to pull away as we are now inside of your zone. You can hit from here and make it to the end of the race.
Yeah, 62 to go. With the 13, he clears 2nd place. Now he has his sights set on his teammate. How quick can he run him down? Will he be able to run him down? You see a slight twitch right here.
Trouble behind him. Nick Crawford gets into the wall as he was just riding on, was snapping loose a couple laps in a row, and finally it just broke. Luckily at the outside wall to keep him straight, but Nick Crawford, his run for trying to be helpful to his Snowy Desert teammates of Hall and Hunter,
and give me an awesome bump.
To 7th.
Yeah, but wonder
wrecking.
Now,
on the front.
Here, 60 to go. Will he be the first one to hit pit road after
he got turned in the wall?
There we go.
Caution flag is out.
Thank you.
That's going to change everything. 60 to go. These drivers are going to win. Definitely get tired.
Worked out for
and it's going to be Zach Hall, leading them into
he may have got a bump or
about
something, and then he like it overcorrected, and he like went straight right into the wall.
What in the world happened to
Stainless steel. We'll fill it up.
I'm just trying to play any of those games because I'll lose it. But it's telling me I only need 14 gallons if you are wanting to do that.
Apron, Ollie snaps loose right there.
Wow, I mean, the car just gets
well,
on
shoot,
those old
let's
tires.
play.
Yeah, you see it happen sometimes.
I'm
be on
going.
board right here.
Going to 18.2. No. Something will happen. Something will happen.
Right when he goes down to the
Started to figure it out towards the end there.
Takes off to the outside.
I was running that 2nd groove, and I was running them back down, but I was also getting run down from people behind me that super saved at the front.
Apron because it's flat and it kind of
run.
a lot of times that diffuser underneath the car bottoms out a little bit.
Shane super saved. I was trying to follow in his footsteps, but I just
overcorrection to the right. But
couldn't
pit
figure
stop,
out.
Sam, 32, 13, 51,
Yeah, he got stuck
75.
behind.
They got to all enter good, and it's going to be about coming out on that front row, so you have a chance to battle for the lead.
He got stuck behind him, and that's what brought him back to me.
Into his box.
5 away.
It is a clean entry for the 13.
At your mark.
Zach Hall going to be the next driver to go into pit road. And and he's going to try to get cleanly into his box. Made a mistake, lost
76-68.
Sora during the stage caution. Clean entry for all
77-63.
championship contenders. It's now down your pit road.
81-69. Doing something wrong.
Can your crew give you the best stop
Go,
for
go.
4 tires and fuel? This will be
What I was
the
doing
first
wrong,
stop of the
remember,
night,
was too much
unless there's a
throttle too
later
early.
caution.
Yeah,
Would
yeah,
anyone
but
gamble
it
for 2? No, it's 4 tires for
goes
all.
through a little more.
And it's Hall and Hunter,
Yeah.
Vincent, Sora, your top 3.
You're
Gavin
going
Rogers
around
goes to 4th
the tree.
with Brian P. Johnson, Nick Crawford.
Oh, Larry lost a
Will be
ton of
moving up
spots. What
7th,
happened to
Brett
Larry?
Kelly, 8th, 9th, Shane Terrian, and Dan
He
Cochran,
was
your
behind
top
me.
10.
He was losing
Larry
all sorts of
Yingling
spots on the run.
losing massive ground, though.
I don't know that he
He'll be
lost
all
him
way
on
down
the-
to 13th position.
on the pit.
The 3-time champ.
Oh, you know what?
he's
I
gonna
did.
need a
I followed
miracle at
him.
this
Not
point
followed him in.
to
Now
run
I'm thinking
and
about
take
it.
this championship away from
Yeah,
honestly
he
the
had
top
been
2
falling back
drivers.
for a while.
It's been the Gavin Rogers and Zach Hall show so far this race. But
Heck, God, I
Justin,
took too much
less
fuel.
than 60
Wait.
laps to go.
Why didn't you tell
There's
me to
not
take
as
less fuel?
much tire saving if you're going to take stretching all the way to the end of this race, but I would say
What
for
the
most of the
hell,
field,
Wade?
this was around the zone that they were thinking about pitting.
Yeah, but
So
the first part of that
this
run,
works
man, I
out.
was just chilling. I wasn't trying to race anybody or anything, and I'm like, all right,
Would be their key to
let's
win this
go.
race.
And then
It really
they
makes
just
you wonder now.
started leaving.
Like you said,
Felt like
less
2 and 3
laps
tenths
to
a lap,
go.
and I was
We're
like,
gonna have
all right.
about 57 laps
I don't
to
know
go
how.
to restart.
Saving
So
really
we
didn't
just saw these
matter. It was all
drivers
about
pretty much
just
go about
throttling, put it at the right time,
63 to
and no
64
one went
laps on green.
Yeah.
On the tires on
But it,
green flag run
so
there.
it was so
we
weird. It
know
was like
that
I
they at
feel
least have that
pretty
in their
good
mind
in
that
1
they're
and
gonna
2, but
only
then
have to go
3 and
about
4,
8
like
laps
they
less, so you
started
have to
entering
start thinking back to what
3
we just saw in
higher
this
and
last
doing like a
stint.
later
Brian
apex.
P.
They were doing it
Johnson
in
got out
both
there,
corners
had a
actually.
huge 2.5
But every time I do that,
and
it's
then
like it
faded.
just makes me
We
even
thought he was
looser.
gonna lose spots. He was able
Yeah.
to
That's what it was
keep the
happening to
tires
me.
cool
I
down and
couldn't
stay
quite
with the
figure that
front
out
5.
without losing the front
So now
end.
he's got about 7
Yeah.
less laps to do that. So maybe if he
It's
does
like
the same thing
I know if you're
Well,
loose on the
over.
exit, you want to do that so that you can straighten it up. But I was getting loose mid corner, so it was like that cut down was the problem. So
and
Yep.
how hard they could
Yeah.
push it based off of the first 103 laps.
And as this run has progressed, we haven't really talked about it much here tonight, but it has been a big swing on the weather side of things. The miles per hour on the wind has been shifting dramatically. Anywhere
Cedric
from
went all the way up there.
9
Yeah,
miles
never
per
lost
hour
any
up
spots.
to about
He's in P2.
16 miles per hour
That
has
is
been
impressive.
the wind.
Yeah.
Watching it
He wins
the
this
last
thing, that's
couple
gonna
of laps.
be
And the track temperature, a nice warm
hell of a
94
drive.
degrees. Ambient
Yeah,
temperature,
but I mean with the way the
87
points
degrees Fahrenheit.
are,
So it is a warm
they really
day
need like
here at Las
Zach
Vegas, no
and Vincent
surprise.
to wreck
A little
each
bit
other.
cooler as we're into the fall
because
season.
they got like all the points last week. Oh, Gavin didn't Gavin win the? No, it's not win and you win.
Gotta say,
It's total points over last race and this race. But that also includes like stage points and stuff like that.
Race is
So
now in the hands of Zach Hall, but a new factor has emerged. He will now be restarting
They're
up
asking
front.
for a
Cedric
thumbs
Hunter
up or down
did
at
not
the
lose
flag stand
track
if you think
position
the
luckily
track
on
is
this
ready or
pit
not.
stop. He will be restarting second.
31.115.
And it makes us wonder up
Looks
here in
like
the
you should
booth,
line up on
all
the
the fans
inside.
watching back home, you have to start
Track's down to
wondering, how is the
94.
13 going to drive this restart? We know he's clearly got really good long run speed. He's been driving so hard through the
Which is
field, so
saying
we
it's
know
just
he's
time to push
abusing
it.
his tires.
oh yeah,
Now,
oh yeah.
does he take it easy and stay in that top 5, or does he just go out there and take the lead and make these drivers get around him? I have to
I'm
say, I
restarting
feel
it
like
first
he
this
has
time.
probably the best overall
Second is
long-run
just
car.
so bogged down.
I would agree with that. He certainly does. For those that are just joining us, I know that we've had a large cluster join in. A lot of
Would y'all
people
like
rooting
to
for
know
Gavin
what I hope
Rogers.
happens
If there's
to
any
you?
other people rooting for drivers, what the number of the car
actually,
you're rooting
yes.
for? We got Zach Hall in the 32.
I would
Cedric
just
Hunter in
love
the
it
13,
if you got
Vincent
punted
Sora
going
in the
into one.
51. I know there's a bunch of 75 fans.
No, I
there
hope
for
I do
Gavin
too.
Rogers, 28 for Brian P. Johnson and Larry Yingling, who's the lone driver
back at you,
outside of our
Ken.
top 10, but he's back in
Damn,
14th for the 67.
Madeline,
We appreciate
I
all
hope
those
you get
that
right
are
hook.
watching
Wade.
as well.
Yeah.
That finale for the
I
WSSR
hope I end up in the top
Series.
section of those
Who will hoist the
grandstands.
Season 9 championship? Zach Hall has the points lead entering tonight with all the bonus points Kevin Rogers has caught.
And
if Rogers wins and Hall
Gone.
finishes second,
Oh, shit.
Gavin Rogers would win the championship.
First doesn't work if you,
Hall's decision, though, is
hit
to
the
be
chip.
up front and lead every lap
Outside,
possible to get the most laps led bonus point
28.162.
and get
No
this
hole
win
yet.
as we are
Fast guys
back
are
to
running
green flag action.
29.4.
Not a great launch for the
5,
13.
Still there.
It's Zach Hall, Vincent
Not 2 or
Sora,
3.
Cedric Hunter in line.
Not 2,
Vincent
it's like
for
2.
Number 2.
Yeah,
Still out
13's
there.
going to be
Thank you.
stuck down on the inside right here down the back straightaway. He's going to lose his spot, like you
Outside
said, to the
quarter.
51, but also potentially to the 75. And then Brian P. Johnson, he's right there. We know how fast he was on the
Go
beginning of the
outside.
run. So we'll see what he's going to do right here as these drivers are all back on top of one one another, and right there. 32 going to get another lap lead. But Sora, he's going to try and get around. He wants to get that first lap lead tonight, Sam. How hard is he going to push this car right now? We got 55 laps to go.
Roger's going to be put in a tricky spot. Clear Nick Crawford and Ryan Johnson. Drivers further on back into the outside wall. They look to be the three. Brian Kelly having troubles. But the driver that's falling backwards, looks like Tom Sinchek in a little bit of worrisome spot in the middle of the field. It's just a gaggle of colors. And seeing Shane Terry, who at one moment was a factor up front, he's now just watching our championship 4 up front. Championship 5 as Brian Johnson tries the third lane, looking for a massive run, tries to get to the outside of the 75 Gavin Rogers, not able to do so. For the lead position, Zach Hall, Vincent Sora, they will be side by side, and Hall's in a tough spot. This is early in the run. Are you willing to give up the lead position, or do you fight for this most laps led bonus point?
That's the hardest question right now to answer. I don't know what you do. Because how do you, if you save any tire right now, I mean, you can fall back to like the 10th or 12th spot. Look how close these guys are, and we only have 52 laps to go. So, I mean, it just gets nervous when you start losing spots. I mean, what if a caution comes out too? Then you're talking gave up spots, plus the caution comes out, now you have to restart back in 8th or 10th.
Still there.
I mean, this is that desperation late caution, right? There's no green flag pit stops. You know, it's all about positioning yourself up front.
I don't know that Cedric's going to know how to race. He ain't got to come up through the field for the first time.
Still out there.
So everyone knows.
Hey, you should run away with this thing at that rate.
Position, save your tires, and it is all going to happen on who's going to be in a position to maybe be the major factor for your best finish of the season, going for a championship.
Thank you,
it all is on this run. The next 8 laps are critical on save your tires, but somehow find yourself be aggressive. Is Larry Yingling in the mix there? He was getting really close as the field is on top. They're 4 wide with Yingling on top. They're going for 9th position. He has to back out of it, but it is looking like a Christmas tree with the way that we're stacked 4 wide, 3 wide, 2 wide, and just 1 up front as everyone's trying to find their openings and take spots away, and it is still Zach Hall up front, but Larry Yingling just cannot find an opening to go forward. He still finds himself on the outside 3rd lane looking for a massive run, trying to tag along to get by Danny Cochran with Vincent Sora. And this is all the action in the middle of the field for just the top 5 spots, and then up front, Gavin Rogers is trying to take the lead from Zach Hall.
It is absolutely fascinating how these drivers are able to make passes
just got really tight
when
right
they
there.
want, but at what price of the tires do they pay? We just saw the 51. We thought he was going to get up there and lead the race. Now look at him.
I don't blame him at all. They're
about
getting no room here.
Back, and he's back in 7th position. Zach Hall, he almost lost the lead to Gavin Rogers. Now Gavin Rogers falls back to 3rd. Brian P. Johnson drives up to 2nd, and he's alongside the 32. And Larry Yingling had a bad pit stop. It seems like anyone who has a bad pit stop tonight just drives to the front, Sam.
They drive to the front, but can they do a similar reenactment of Cedric Hunter? Drive up quickly, save the tires for the rest of the run, and then be there at the end with the top 3 drivers. And that's going to be the hard thing, is trying to mimic that type of a run, because
Look, I know I'm burning my shit up, but I kind of have
these
to.
last couple of races,
Everyone else is doing screw.
Yeah.
They are aggressive.
If I want to save like I want to, or I'm going to be back in 20th.
And then they will want to make sure they've got track position if that late caution comes out, but the caution never does. They just fall like a rock through the field. That's my big worry currently for the 28 and the 67. Are they pushing these vehicles too hard? And his competition behind our championship drivers may be pushing a little bit too hard. Shane Terry, Ken Campbell, Danny Cochran, 3 wide up the exit of the corner, and behind them, mired back and looking for an opening. Vincent Sora looks like he's trapped behind a barrier. They're 3 wide in front of the 51 as he sees his championship hopes driving away.
Outside, still there.
I'm getting really worried about him. I mean, he's back there in about 9th position now, and yeah, you might be thinking saving tires, all this stuff, but
I don't understand the aggression when there's literally playoff drivers all around us.
In dirty air, so you can't really run the clean line. And
like, sure, I'm not going to give anything up, but I'm not going to dive to the apron to make it forward, you know.
So can you really even save tire right now, Sam, when you're running this close together back there? I almost think that guys like Brian P. Johnson, Zach Hall, Cedric Hunter up there in the top 3, they might be saving more tires than being back here behind this craziness of action.
I mean, the Cedric Hunter proved it, right? Like, you can make 15 passes, settle for 5 to 8, and then push your way through and still be in contact with your top
Not a lot of room
driver.
there.
It's all about patience, though. When find an opening where you feel like you're safe, and then be aggressive
You're 3, Chris.
on their tires that they overcooked it. But at this current moment, I mean, Zach Hall is more than willing to see Brian B. Johnson pull away because he's already done this move before. Zach has watched Johnson and Shane Terrian pull out to over a second lead, and then they reel back that group within the next 10 laps because those tires are cooked. I am shocked to see Brian B. Johnson pull the same exact move that didn't work the last run. He's still pulling away and putting pounds to the fastest lap. He's trying to back off his pace, but everyone else says, now you can go a little bit faster if you like. We'll continue to go about a tenth or two slower.
Oh, I agree with you. You have to think what happened in the first, about from lap 50 till lap 100. You have to think that's got to be on his mind. But maybe he's thinking it's towards the end of this race, and these drivers are going to race so hard that maybe they'll race these guys a little harder back there, and they can't save some tires. Right now, the 9 is in front of the 32, and then
There's some tight race in the air.
Another driver who, if he could get around the 32 and the 13, that's going to be someone else they'll have to pass. So, yeah, they can, but we have to remember, 8 less laps that they're going to be running.
Yeah,
so
gotta get it in last race of the season.
Johnson has to worry about the tires falling off.
And you also brought it up during that run after the stage was over. Brian was out front for 25, 30 laps. If he continues to be up front, he could steal away that post-laps led bonus point that maybe Zach Hall would prefer to grab, but as long as it's not going to Gavin Rogers, I think Hall is okay. And if anyone else wins and Hall is in front of Gavin Rogers,
may as well burn it all the way up.
Zach Hall can't finish in position behind Gavin, but it would be a tough, cross your fingers and hope for the best finish, because if there's a tie, there's multiple different tiebreakers. You have the most wins. That tiebreaker goes to that driver, but if you have a tie there, then you go to the most second places of the season, and we'll continue to go down until we find where there's a difference between the drivers, Gavin Rogers and Zach Hall. They could be within points of one another before this race is over. About to be 40 laps to go, and it's Brian B. Johnson, Shane Terrian trying to pull away Zach Hall's former teammates as they try to find themselves leading the charge. Ken Campbell, who's had probably the worst luck besides Douglas Newbegin this season, runs right behind Hall, and Hall's got some buffers as Gavin Rogers, Vincent Soar, Cedric Hunter are trying to find their openings to power through. And it looks like for Gavin Rogers, green lights open. It's time for the 75 to go forward.
Just like that, the 75 moves forward and bring in behind him Vincent Sora, who now
I'm
starting
getting
to
loose in 1. That's not a good sign for 3.
13, he's going to lose 1 or 2 spots here coming out of the corner. And I'm not going to roll out anyone because I feel like all night we've seen guys come and go as they want. The question is, do you come at the right time and not end up risking hurting those tires so you don't have them for the final 5 to 10 laps if this stays green?
And all these drivers hoping for the best 40 laps to go. If you haven't already, this is the time to share the broadcast to those that want to maybe see Zach Hall hoist his first ever championship. If you want to see Gavin Rogers hoist his first ever championship as a rookie, you better get those that want to watch this moment happen live out there in chat, as these drivers are going to give us quite a show. They don't need to pit. This race could go to the end staying green, and Las Vegas has been notoriously known for taking it all the way to the end with minimal caution. We've already had a few, but I think we got a feeling that as long as these racers can keep it together, keep these drivers and cars pointing straight, it is going to be a dogfight to the end. It's going to come down to those final 2 to 3 laps on who's going to be ahead of who.
And a 3-car just rode around for the first 20 laps of the run, and now he's flipped the switch.
Brian Noel,
going now.
Lucky Ducks, who we haven't talked about all night long, the lone 2 Lucky Duck drivers,
I had no idea we were
they're wanting to put their hand in the hat.
It's over.
No, Hunter into the grass.
31.
No, he went through the infield there. He got clipped coming out of the corner. And so much valuable time gone. He's going to have to pass all those cars for the 3rd time tonight. But this late into the run, you have to feel it might be so unfortunate. Coming out of the corner, it looked like they were 3 wide to 70. And car in the middle didn't catch the number, Sam, but just
I used the in-car breathalyzer like a Vox box.
Teammates of Cedric Hunter. Hunter used to be teammates with the Lucky Duck crew.
Of course I would hit the wall after I said
just
that.
in a blink of an eye, you're going to see here from the blimp view off the exit of the corner, Brian Noel rear end just comes tail slapping down on the 13, and looks like 13 also squeezed up just a little bit. You're 3 wide. You're trying to minimize mistakes, but that one, this late in the run, Hunter needs a caution, and he needs it bad to get back into this fight. We've seen him climb through the field multiple times before. He's gonna have to do it once again. As drivers up front, single filing out. Racing action isn't over. This is that little bit of chess match. Who's willing to use their tires? Who's waiting for the final 20 to 15 laps to push forward?
Yeah, and the final 15 to 20 laps is coming fast. I mean, these drivers, they're starting to get a little bit spread out now. That 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th are kind of in their little bubble, and then the top 5 are in their little bubble. But you have to start wondering. I mean, the 9, he's caught the 28. Now the 32's catching him. So did Brian, did he maybe slow up a little bit, let these guys catch him a little bit and try and save a little bit of tire? I don't know, because the 9's there right now. So he's got caught faster this time than he did in the previous one.
Yeah, I mean, he did his best to stay up front. Now Shane Terry going to be trying to take that.
Like, it's bad enough burning up your tires and not knowing you're doing it, but when you know you're doing it and then you've got to watch people coming past you, that sucks so much worse.
Yeah. As soon as possible, clean air, either driver, so you can control whatever lane you need to defend. Gavin Rogers and Vincent Sora behind you.
One on the grass.
Very nicely with Hall. We'll see if that
An aggressive move. See if it works out for him.
On another driver having issues further on back. It's Danny Cochran who's going to be driving.
Coming back up on the track of 1 here. Watch out, Wade.
As the battle for the lead.
He's taking on the
Let's
bottom.
see if Zach Hall can get to the point, and will Shane Terrian play any defensive moves back in 3rd place to help out his former teammate? Hall trying to get by Brian P. Johnson. He asks the motor his way forward, but once again, the big wiggle, it stalls him out. And now Brian P. Johnson to the outside.
In the middle, so I was like, let me try the bottom. I've been running the middle for a while. Instantly got loose.
Up front, trying to pull away with the lap.
Here, man, you need that grass.
32 laps to go.
Piece of grass.
32 machine.
Here comes Cedric back.
Yeah, 32 to go.
They imported it from Wilkesboro just for me.
Is getting closer and closer to the end, and the 32, he just runs the bottom so well. Look at that. He just turns off to the bottom, and the car stays down there. Something that I'm impressed with on him is that ability just to be able to pull to the bottom. One thing I noticed, the 75, his car is really good. And that when he runs that middle line in 3 and 4, seems like he's able to come out of the corner, run in the middle line, and turn to the bottom and carry that momentum. And that might be how he makes his passes. Right now, he's going to go through the middle. And then the 51, he also...
Rogers, big slide for himself. Luckily, he held on. But that 75 snapping loose as he was being side-drafted by Sora. He'll lose 2 spots with that. It's a little bit of a slide.
Yeah, and it sees those tires up a little bit, so just got to maybe cool them back here. And look at this, 70. Haven't really got to talk too much about him tonight. We know he's a fast driver. He's coming now. I mean, can he play spoiler and get up there and get that win? He's right here in 6th position and kind of caught this field really quick.
Aaron Smith second was hoping the last 3 races that it would turn into fuel mileage runs that would fall into his hands. Just was not the case. And with now fuel mileage being thrown out the window, it's all about raw speed, and in the 70 yellow machine trying to make his mark and show that he wasn't trying
Holy
to watch
shit,
out for
Ken just blinked.
Missed out on the championship round.
I'm that fast?
Put the pressure on his
Is that what you're saying?
Still plenty of time to make these passes with Brian P. Johnson's hopes.
I don't think I've ever seen you blinking my entire time racing with you.
It's just not been going the way that he would hope.
Have you driven this season? Are you aware?
I haven't been around you.
You were in Texas. How'd that work out for you?
I forgot about that. Yeah, that was a quick trip to the hospital.
Yeah, that was the start of it.
And also as this run goes on, Vincent Sora, as he did not
Good save, man.
at the end of the stage.
Yeah.
Thinking he was going to get you a break.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, no, he was very nice there. Yeah, I'll tell you what, I cannot, at 3 and 4, like Kev was saying, I cannot keep it straight on that bottom lane. I saw everybody else doing it, so it's like, all right, let me give it a try, and I did it, just about looped it.
As you see here, battling with his teammate Nick Crawford, and see the Storm Motorsports driver Ken Campbell doing their best as they almost go 3 wide off the exit of 4.
Clear.
Wide. It's like every lap we have someone 3 wide. This race has been phenomenal to watch. It's exciting wherever you find
The fact that Cedric's come from the back like 17 times
look at the 74
and wrecked and is still faster than me
inches
is
from the wall,
equally impressive and saddening.
No, he's going to give a big push to the third
Because he
turn.
brought his
Third
out.
with some speed down into that corner. But wow, I mean, what a race here. We're coming.
He
We're
just
under
got
30
loose
to go
another
now.
time.
It's just lap after lap of excitement. The 13 gets super loose coming out of the corner, able to save it. Now he's going to. Oh, yeah, he thought he was going to cut down there in front of 74. Luckily, this spotter told him, do not do that.
Yeah, Nick Crawford trying his best to help his teammate out. Center Hunter, he needs a caution badly with all the ways that he has marched his way through the field. He's tried every attempt to go from last to first, and I think that last one might have just crossed a little bit too far on the limits, and that contact between himself and Brian Noel, which the 13's already got.
Sorry, man, I did not mean to put you in the wall there.
No, it's sliding through. He's sliding back onto the track. Will this bring out a caution? He's down on the apron. He's cruising back up. He's not turning until now. No caution is thrown. He's turning again. Oh, Noel. He's trying to bring out a caution.
Have you seen my season? That's not fucking me over at all.
Back there. Oh, jeez. Yeah, I saw both cars behind me.
What is Noel doing?
Oh, sorry.
And drivers behind were the ones that brought the yellow instead. It was Richard Wolsifer.
Carnage.
Oh, the 17 got around me.
Wolsifer, Danny Cochran, and
Oh, what's up, Stitz?
in front of a couple of drivers.
A little slow there, huh?
That's what officially brings out the yellow,
Yeah.
but multiple
I think I'm going to stay out here.
It
Zach,
felt
if
like
this
they were
isn't just
wanting
par
a
for the
caution to come
course.
out.
So it really is to be sprint up
I'm
for
glad
sure.
that the caution was for something else. We're going to check
Well,
that right now and see what happens.
I guess, but I was going backwards there, and there wasn't nothing I could do about it.
See right here what happens.
I am not taking fuel this time,
It
by the
just
way.
was oddball moment after
What a
oddball moment.
spectacle that was.
And what in the world? Richard Wolfer snaps loose.
Yeah, New Biggie got to my outside.
Right in front of Christopher
I
Wade
got,
and Danny Cochran.
was going to like cross him over, so I started going low in 3 from the outside,
Done.
and it just kept going and going, and I was like, oh shit, if I don't gas this up, I'm going to spin to the inside, so I had to gas it up, and he was just right there at the wall, and I was like, this is bad.
I'm just curious on what was going through the mind.
Are y'all good? What happened?
Noel here because
Richard,
pulls
he's
off,
overcrating, hit the wall.
holds the brake.
Okay.
Okay.
Hit him pretty head on.
Not turning, not turning.
I didn't get no required or anything, but I feel it in the wheel a little bit.
Shifts down.
Okay. Get
Yeah,
it
it's
fixed.
just-
You just needed a decent finish.
It's just, it doesn't make
Every
sense
point
on the
matters.
move there.
Optional was a
But I will
minute
say
or
this.
minute 54 seconds.
That's up to the admins
That
to
was
deal with.
90-85.
It's not our decision, but it certainly looked absolutely
88-83.
a weird scenario.
You're doing much better than me.
This now puts the field in a spot of pit road being so crucial, and they are racing off a pit road now. And Zach Hall is going to be the driver that wins off the pit road. 4 tires in fuel for the 32. And Vincent
Yeah, they got the 15 beat me out of pit road.
By a mile. By a mile.
I overshot my box.
Crawford and Aaron Smith the second,
Yeah.
8th with Cedric Hunter.
Know where pace car is
he
at?
needed. He will be
We'll in a
9th and
minute.
10th of Ken Campbell.
Middle back.
Yeah, and these drivers.
Well,
I
entering
mean,
3 now.
20 laps to go. It's not going to matter, Sam, with tires. I don't think. I mean,
Under
they're
over
all going to
for,
be pushing as hard as they can. And
Big wreck
I think
going.
anyone who
Middle
did
of
any
24.
practice, I'm sure they did a super hard run to see exactly.
Yeah, I have a feeling that's not our last
how long, so
caution.
they know exactly how hard they
That's
can push.
likely
but
not.
People
you
are
can't
racing,
save
how
tires
hard
to
you
give
have
up
to drive off the
positions
start. Yeah.
Hit
Absolutely
entry.
not.
Wade.
And
Okay.
curious if,
Good.
because when we saw
Yeah,
that
I
incident happen,
about a minute left.
maybe we can go back and if
Are
we
you
have
coming
a
back
chance
in?
to look at
I probably won't.
56's point of view. I know he snapped loose.
That's a
on that.
protest.
I know he-
Protest, hitting under caution.
Rewatch that replay, but I know for Richard Wolsifer, he had issues, and that just sucks to see, as he was trying his best to save this and trying to see that Wilman show.
And he
we're
let it
right
go
on board
green.
right here.
I wanted to beat
Listen,
Ken
see
for
what
real.
happens.
As he goes down,
22
Breaking
laps,
the wheel,
21
trying
when
to
we,
hit his
you
margin,
know what,
snaps
20
loose.
when we go green.
tries to
So,
save Gregson.
send it.
Gets the apron, we see the apron on the
Oh, I
front
will.
stretch, he could be in trouble.
Behind you, taking it 3 wide going in turn 1.
hell, everybody else is.
Yeah, he made
That
a
was the reason for their caution coming out and resetting this field with 20
Three's
laps
rookie
to
numbers.
go
You got to
for the
bump those
championship.
numbers up.
Yeah, he made a valiant
Let's-
effort there to try and
let's
save
take
it.
it forward.
See Son to try and save it. So
Well, the thing
I hate
is,
to see it 'cause he had
so I know it like Atlanta and stuff, they have the rule where
this
if you go
brings
below
out
the line and then you
caution.
come
I
up and
mean,
you cause a
21
caution,
to go now.
it's your fault, right?
Now this is gonna get that
Shane did that
For everyone
And
else,
it's one of those where I could give him room or could not give him room,
Rogers,
but I didn't know what the
all he needs
rule
to do in
was,
this
and it was like,
championship
well, I don't
is
really
go
want to be
out
that
and
guy
win this
at
race.
this
Zach
time,
Hall is in a
you know,
spot
so
where he just
I
needs
just
to
went
make
ahead
sure
and moved
he's
up, and that's what
ahead
it made
of
us
Gavin
end
Rogers,
up going
and he will
forward.
take the championship, and as long as
the
they are
rules the same,
ahead
but don't
of everyone
quote me on
else
that.
by 6
I really don't want to
positions.
show up on the
Vincent
broadcast
Sora
being
and
that
also
guy.
Cedric Hunter,
But there's still time. There's 20 laps.
drivers
There's
of the
20 laps.
32 and the 75.
Oh,
So
yeah.
they're going to be going around for another
Just
lap.
because you
of
bad
this
guy does not
race
mean
turned upside
you
down
bad
now.
guy.
We thought it was crazy before when they were trying to save fuel.
No, you bad guy.
Now it's time to
Well,
see
yeah.
what's up there for
Should be on the outside.
how more aggressive can they possibly get?
30.85.
And it just gives us
Depending
another lap here to
on
build
who
the
you
drama.
ask.
So I'm going to ask
If
him,
you ask
and I put you on the
everybody,
spot
they will
one more
have the same
time.
answer.
While we have a second here, walk us through the points really quick. We
What?
pretty much know it's going to come down
Like
to
some Confucius.
Zach Hall,
Yeah.
Gavin Rogers, but what can Vincent Sora do?
All right, I'm starting in second this time because apparently I do not have the skill to
They
shift
still
quickly.
mathematically have a chance, but they
I was gonna let
need
you know I'm not
to
lifting.
be about looking
Great.
at the numbers for Cedric Hunter to win the championship.
So you should start in
He needs to
first
be
is what I'm saying.
about 15
No. I'm going to kill all your momentum.
positions ahead of Zach Cole and Gavin Rogers. For
This ain't
Vincent
Gen 4.
Sora, he needs to be 10
Shoot.
positions
Just lift him
ahead
up.
of Gavin Rogers
Yeah.
and
I think
Zach
the only
Cole.
bad thing about having
They're both in
an
a position
all-yellow
where they, again,
scheme is
have a
the amount
need.
of dirt
Gavin
you can
Rogers
see
and
on
Zach
your
Cole
paint
to be
scheme
knocked
towards
out
the end of the
this
race.
It looks to be really down to the 32 and the
Yeah, I've
75.
noticed that.
If everyone is pointing in the right
I
direction.
think we'll have to wash it all off.
And if Zach Hall finishes in front of Gavin Rogers,
White t-shirts.
If Gavin Rogers wins this race, he will be able
Gonna be
to
dogfight,
win
man.
the
Gonna be
championship.
dogfight on these
Otherwise, he needs to
restarts.
be 2 positions ahead of
I hope you all get punted in into one. Instead, stay away from me. Stay away from me. Stay away from me.
Man, pace cars off.
I hope I punt you going in the turn one.
Those are the small little things.
Send it.
Green flag is out.
We'll wait and see how this race goes on because they first got to stay out on track, pointing in the right direction for
28,
28
25,
laps.
6,
It's
3,
Hall,
working the
Sora,
bottom, still in
Bavarian
the
as
inside.
well as Rogers in
Leaders
top
are running
4.
29,
Dallas Newbiggy going to be the new
6,
factor.
4.
How
Clear.
is the Lucky Ducks driver who's had trouble all season with self-spinning? Will he finally keep that nose pointed straight as now we see Vincent Sora ducking down low. Sora knows the lead can be grabbed and you can hold for a win if you
Did I
make
forget
the
it gets
pass
tight?
now.
this
And I
51
took
got
less
him
fuel.
going down that back straightaway.
Still
Didn't
out
have the
there.
best of restarts, but he got the best of that corner because
keep him
he's
faster on the
corner. Now,
32,
Gavin Rogers is going to try
Can't
to
repeat
push,
laps,
go to the
okay.
outside. They're going to go 3 wide off into this
Still
corner.
there.
Who's going to push the hardest? 19 laps to go to 75
Still
to
there.
32. They're going to make contact potentially.
Rogers holds on to it, keeps his foot in the throttle, and to the lead goes Gavin
2
Rogers.
outside.
He needed a caution. He got the caution.
Still there.
Sadly, it was from his teammate that brought out the yellow, but he's going to do his
help.
best to try to
No
push his
help.
way forward. Now Zach Hall
Only
knows
one outside right
retaliation
now.
needs to be the key.
Hey,
Get to
we
the
kept the
outside,
straight.
go for a pass,
Take
but will they
Chris.
wreck
Wide
behind?
outside.
This drivers are smoking. That's Chris Stitz, who gets a little bit slow
And
further
dog
on.
has a good
Now
lap
it's
right
Gavin
there.
Rogers,
Not good.
Zach
Wide
Hall
outside.
in
How
line.
happened?
Shane Darian trying to move his
Did you
way
hit the wall?
forward, but really
Oh, I hit you, Larry.
being patient
Oh,
right now.
okay.
Waiting for the final 5 laps. Have the tires
They all
laid
checked
on.
up and I
But Gavin
couldn't turn
Rogers,
off.
Star pole sitter
Still
to the
outside.
point, to the lead, where he was so comfortable back at the beginning of this race.
I'm tight.
Right
That's
there,
not good.
zigzagging down the back straightaway,
Door
trying to break the
outside.
draft, trying to
I'm still trying to
give
wreck
any
up there.
advantage to himself.
Yeah, it might be good to
Do
lay
not
back.
have any advantage. As you say that, that green machine, we know how fast he's been tonight. He's coming. The 9, Shane Darian, he's flying up there. Brian P. Johnson, he's flying too. But these drivers are all pushing hard. I don't expect anyone to give anyone a break. They're all going to push hard. No one wants to give up any spots right now. 17 to go. Will the tires hold up right now, or is the 32? Is he able to stay back there and keep them cool? Is he going to make one last run here in the final 17?
Sundance
Still
pizza
outside.
machine of Gavin Rogers. For most of the season, he was known as the hot lap wonder because he would get the pole, but then would fade away later on in the race. He was so strong early on.
Yeah,
Here
those are the lap
tonight,
times
we
we
needed
keep,
a
man.
perfect
Take it.
race. He got
Still
the
outside.
pole, which gave him the bonus point. He got
Gives
up
the best
front
part
and
of the
led a
track.
lap, another bonus point. Won the
30.196.
stage, another bonus point.
Still
And now
outside.
finds himself being up front late in this race. 16 laps to go, and Gavin Rogers with the spacing and time trying to find
out there.
himself into victory lane to win the championship. Zach Hall cannot allow this 75 to win this race.
Could have thought about it being short run. I needed it to stay loose, which I'm running fast laps, but it's tight as hell.
The 32's trying everything he can.
I still think he'll be
But he's got
faster.
to play defense
Here in a few laps.
behind him. He's got
Yeah, that's
9
what I'm
pressure
thinking.
on him. 75's out front, like you said. He's got to get around him. It's under 0.3 of a second. He's right there on screen. He seems to run the bottom so well, but the 75 is entering a little bit higher, holding it down to the bottom. He's carrying that momentum down the straightaway. There's a little bit of contact behind him. Looks like Vincent Sora maybe decided to slid up into the wall just to suspect it.
Just a little bit, but you got to give everything at this moment. If you got to have a little bit of speed and a little bit of contact you can throw away, this is the time to just send it all. 14 laps to go, and will there be a turnover on the tires? Because it looks like it's going to be a mano-a-mano battle. Shane Terrian not really putting a lot of pressure on the fact that he's going to go down and make a pass on Zach Hall. He recognizes and knows this situation. It's for a championship. It's Hall, it's Rogers, but who would be willing to make a move? Is it going to be a dive down, slide job move? Will it be a march to the outside? Could it be a bump and run? A lot of scenarios are going to bubble up, but ultimately you have to make sure you've got the tires underneath you to make these moves, because Justin, we've seen here tonight, it's so easy to overcook these tires and lose any chance to run down the crew in front of you.
Yeah, and right now these top two are staying so equal. And there it is. The noise is getting closer and closer. And like you said, is he going to make a move or will he not let these two race? I mean, he's in a tough spot. He wants to get that win. He had so many chances this year to have wins, and he deserved to have so many races won, and we thought he would definitely win. And right now he has a chance to do it tonight. What's he going to do? I think he wants to race. He wants to go. But right now these drivers are all pushing so hard, no one can really make up the ground like we saw earlier in the race.
I mean, I think he would love to go, would love to push.
Oh, there goes Brian. Oh, wow. Saved it.
Wow. Again, former teammates was Hall and Shane Terrian with Brian Johnson. Johnson's kind of hopes of a championship kind of dwindled away. Terrian, though, he saw his championship hopes be taken away late in the race. Maybe trying to help a former ally here late for a chance.
Yeah, the 32 gets into turns 3 and 4 really, really well. But I feel like the 75 exits the corner really well and carries that speed down the front straightaway, and that's the difference right now. It just seems like I think Zach's car is really about 20 to 25 laps into a run, but we don't have 20 to 25 laps in the run. We have about 10 laps left, and I don't know if the turnover is going to happen like you said on these tires.
Will they flip with these final 10 laps? I think it's those final 5 laps are going to be the big key here. Did Gavin Rogers overcook his tires? Did Zach Hall maybe save enough here and just try to keep it at an equal distance as possible? Because if these two drivers, here's the thing, Zach Hall and Gavin Rogers are going to get racy. They're going to try to get close to one another. Gavin Rogers has to make sure that that Zach Hall never gets close to him, because if they somehow wreck each other here late, this would gift the championship to Vincent Sora, or even over to Cedric Hunter. As drivers are spinning behind, it's Brian Noel who's spinning around. Caution is out. This race isn't over yet.
You have to go in and get tires, I would think, right? Will people stay out? I mean,
I don't know about y'all, but I'm getting tires.
Cars on the lead lap still.
Oh yeah, I mean back here,
definitely. I don't know.
I'm packing that thing full of fuel.
I don't know, man. We ain't gonna have that many to go.
What do you go for?
Do you take 2?
I mean, it's going to be about a 4-lap shootout.
Yes.
I mean,
all right,
right
I'm
side
the Huckleberry.
tires could be the call. I mean, they fire off fast. I see plenty of times where right side tires, they fire off so good.
I'm not taking fuel
Just
and taking
3
2.
laps.
And it was the 07 of Brian
Just
Noel
2.
self-spinning off the exit of the corner.
We're gonna cause a wreck if we do it. You do know this.
Here we go.
Yeah, should we just take 4?
Do you stay
I mean, I'm taking 4, but
All right, fine. I'm taking 4. I'm taking
live a little. I mean, it's the last 7
I'm not taking fuel though. I'm not taking
I
fuel.
don't wanna fuck up the championship.
Pit road,
Yeah.
will it be calling for these drivers? They show
That's me.
signs
I'm
that
like,
pit road
if
is
it wasn't
theirs.
the
Rogers,
literal
Hall,
championship,
they both go
I'm
up.
staying out,
Brian
staying out,
Johnson
staying
as
out.
well.
Shit,
Everyone else
I'm
taking
taking
a
2.
pit road for themselves. Shane Terry and Nick Crawford. Everyone in the
more
pit
guys stayed
road.
out than I thought.
Vincent Sora stays out. Ken
Yeah,
Campbell
literally nobody
stays
behind
out.
me.
4 of our championship
I was
sets
hoping they
are
would
gonna
see
be
it
in our
and be
top
like,
4.
oh, okay, let's go do that. But
I don't
didn't.
know. I can't give
So
my
that's-
opinion
that's
because I'm not sure what I would have done. I think I would have want tires regardless. In my mind, I was thinking
96,
I wanted 4
97.
because
Lap-old tires you're dealing with.
once I saw enough
it works
guys,
that
I mean, I'm the 5th one,
too.
right?
I don't
So it was
know.
like So I was, what were we, coming in,
I'm honestly
like
shocked
11,
on the fact
12,
that we
somewhere
saw
around there.
Hall not going to pit road, but I understand.
Yeah.
So like
I
half
think
the
like
top
13,
10. Okay.
For Hall, because he is
It looked like most of the guys were staying out, so I was like, okay.
Has felt like the wrong move. He didn't get the pole. He didn't win the stage. He missed out on the stage by 3/100ths of a second.
Sort of thought more would have, but
It just feels like everything that he could have done has been
Pace
the
car's
wrong
entering
decision.
3.
And right there, a lot of second guessing. Hall almost crossed the line, almost got a black flag penalty with the move that he made there so late. And now he's going to be sitting there with Brian P. Johnson, Vincent Sora. But the big thing for
there's
Hall
all sorts
here,
of cheesing
he
going on
has
back
that
here.
1 point advantage over Gavin Rogers at this point. Count for the win.
Yeah, about 3
They were
seconds.
equal in position. So if we find
at pit
ourselves
entry.
with Zach Hall, Gavin Rogers tying at some
Oh yeah,
point,
they're
and someone that just
warming
pitted
up the
wins
tires,
this race,
bouncing up
that
on the
could
apron.
change everything here.
And the first car off pit road, I didn't catch it, but who was the first
I really
one
wanted
with
to be on
4
the
tires?
outside here, but
It is going to be 2
Interesting.
tires
Yeah.
for Nick Crawford, Aaron Smith,
Oh, gosh.
Douglas Lubbock, Chris Stitz. First
yeah.
driver
So
with 4
Gavin,
tires,
Zach,
place runner,
Brian,
Shane Terry, and
Vincent,
Brian Noel,
and then
who
me.
found himself spinning
That's who
around. He
stayed
took
out.
2 tires. He's going to be in 11th
Wow.
position. Then
Well,
Thompson checked all the way
to
down
be
to
fair,
0.
I was running the fastest laps of my entire race there.
Excuse me, 18th. Just
Yeah.
took 4
So-
tires and fuel.
It will be
Well, kind of, if it
interesting.
makes you
This will
feel
be a
any
good
better,
learning
my lefts were
experience.
93,
Let us
94.
know.
Okay.
Tires matter or
So
60
basically,
laps not enough on them. I mean, I feel like they
Just
give up
taking
probably
rights,
right
this is
around
gonna
that
be,
lap 15 to 20 is where they
Yeah.
start to slowly
Except,
slow down. But now they cooled them off.
wait, you took 4 though,
But they're
right?
warm enough
I
that they
took
have
2.
the grip.
Okay,
that
you
first
took
lap
2.
or 2.
We'll
We're gonna
find
be
out because I
wide
took none.
open going through turns
You
1
took
and
2.
just because
Okay. Oh,
of the restart.
so
And
Crawford.
lobby 3 and 4
Yeah,
where
so
people on 2 and 4
Crawford,
really gonna gain the
Smith,
ground. But by then, it's
New
only gonna
Bigging,
be
you
about 2.5 laps left.
took 2. Shane took 4. Noel took 2. Everybody else took 4.
It's going to be...
Yeah.
So really, we can look
It's
at
gonna be
me, you, and
We're waiting
Sinchak
till-
and see
if we get the lights go off
who
this
wins
time,
out of
it'll be
all
4
that.
laps to go and we go
because
green.
Shane was so high up. He
Looking at the
pitted
lap
from like second,
times that these sharks
so he was going to
down,
beat us out no
Gavin
matter
Rogers,
what. So
and
we'll see
time
what
of
the
yellow,
best
his
strat is.
previous fastest lap while we were running green was about 5/10 off of his
I've always
fastest
heard 2 is a
time.
great
So he was
strat. We're gonna
really
find
putting
out.
down the pressure of burning the
Well,
tires.
yeah.
Well,
2 there though, it's like if 2 gets you the lead in the clean
Now
air
he's had to figure out
versus
how do you get by
where you're at, we're about to find out.
Gavin Rogers in a
They're gonna be on the
spot
inside.
of
And I've
where
got to
does
go
there come a
first gear.
restart?
Like if I go second and I'm
Outside,
that
the
slow
inside,
again,
and
it's going to be
here's the
bad.
call. Inside row for Gavin Rogers. Zach Hall
But
will be on
if
the
you need to push me
outside.
5 wide, you push me 5 wide.
Gavin Rogers, Zach Hall, Brian P. Johnson, Vincent Sora, your top 4.
Well,
Then in fifth
Love to hear that from the guy right behind me, but same to you.
Tires, Nick Crawford back in 6th
Yeah.
place.
Even better, he's in front of me.
Yeah.
Taking
We're going to
2
the
tires,
front.
seeing everyone trying to warm up their tires as much as possible because cold tires are not
Don't
friendly.
remember
You
Richmond.
easily can find yourself
Don't
spinning
remember
around if you're
Richmond.
not careful and I mean, Justin,
Don't be afraid
overtime
if
couldn't
we
be
have that
calling
15.
for these drivers. And it's going to be 4 laps to go for this crew as we'll try to get our laps to go.
All right, 4 to go at the
I
line.
have never wanted anything more in my life than you to get punted going into one, Stitz.
And sadly,
I really hope Aaron punts you guys number 1.
If he doesn't, feel free to just come below the line and come clean me out.
I might help him out, actually.
Yeah.
For the end of this race.
All right, here we go.
Currently, is 5 laps to go. When we go green, it will turn into 4.
Get those tires
Gavin
cleaned up.
Rogers
Leader roller.
has to finish in front of
Leader on
Zach
bottom.
Hall. At least one position ahead. And
yes.
got a win. He would
Thank
then
you.
tie. If we see Gavin Rogers win this race,
Hey,
he will
cars
win
off,
the
Rick.
championship. Zach Hall just needs to be in front of Gavin Rogers, and he'll win the
Gone.
championship. They both
Green
wreck out.
flag.
It's up in the hands of
Make
who
a
will
mark.
take it.
Feel good.
Rogers takes the
Leaders
green,
are running
and it is now 4 laps to go.
4 laps to go to 32, not having the restart that he needs for this championship.
Outside.
He has them all bunched up behind Vincent Sora. He's right there already, right on him. This is going to be crazy. How is he going to get a run? We're going to be coming to 3 to go now, but Zach Hall did not get the restart, Sam.
He did not, and now it's going to be Vincent Sora to the outside. Sora knows that he needs to get up front, but Sora, even if he wins this race, he needs to see the 75 and 32 wreck out. Sora starting to have some issues behind on the outside.
they won the race. They tried to wreck. Yeah, I think they saved it.
No, they didn't.
Probably.
He's right outside.
He kind of slid back over in the grass.
But up front
outside.
at single file, Gavin Rogers hoping to get
Still
the run
outside.
to win this race. Nick Crawford teaming to Zach Hall needs
Still
to get
there.
up front, has to get by
Clear
Gavin
him.
Rogers
Quarter
to help
inside.
Zach Hall at least get into a tiebreaker
Still
mode.
outside.
So Hall
In and
stays
out.
high. He lets Crawford go.
Still there.
We're going to be now
Outside.
going into
Only.
2 laps
Clear.
to go. And
Oh,
Crawford
good.
trying to tie this race.
I'm on the infield. We're good. We're good. We're good.
It's getting cable into the grass.
No, you're not. You're on the, in the middle of the track. Get off the
Those
track.
fresh tires, the right size. This is what Zach Hall wanted to see.
I came up. I didn't know anybody was there. I would have towed. I thought I had time to get out there.
8, 9.
Now we have
did
to
you hit
wonder
someone?
what
No. I slid up and then I was facing the wall.
track position.
And I was like, I saw you pass, and I thought everybody else was passed. So I was like, great, I've got time to get around. If I'd known that there was a lapper that was back there, I would have just towed, and I would have gotten out of the way
Now he's not gonna be
early.
able to restart the race as the leader. He's not going to have the ideal restart, and he's got guys on fresh tires right behind
Pace
him.
car is going to be at the
Again, we are
exit of
so
turn 2
sorry
here.
on our graphics. We are not able
Oh
to
my
get
gosh, Nick
back
Crawford
up
got the lead out of that.
into our first
With
of
2.
3 attempts if needed of
Alright, King, guys,
we are officially
behind me, so I'm
here
good.
for a championship race.
Well, you better.
This is coming down to a
I'm taking 4 tires.
Yeah,
So
I'm looking at this restart here. Justin.
I got a little bit loose, and then I would have saved it, but we were just so
Rogers, because this is going to be
stacked
their time
up.
if they're going to go to pit road.
Didn't
You
matter.
can do it here. You cannot give up track position. You're
About
staying
5
out,
seconds,
but
so
if
maybe
you're
this
Hall,
5
you
seconds
have
will be a
your
game
teammate
changer.
Leading this race, you could do a little bit of gamemanship. You
Fix.
could do a little bit of a countdown to the green. Give Zach Hall a better launch than Gavin Rogers. Rogers has to stay on top of this. As into pit road, it's Vincent Sora. It's
Vincent
Brian P.
Sora
Johnson.
pitted.
They were forced to. They
Wow,
had to go
along
into
with
pit road
Brian
to
P.
get service
Johnson.
done.
I mean, I guess they
They'll
figured they
fall
had no other
down.
choice.
It's now down to these top 2 drivers into this
They were
first
back in what, about
green,
8th or 9th?
This first green
No, they were,
overtime
kinda
attempt. Justin, I want
6th
your
and
thoughts on the fact
oh,
that
really?
Nick
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe they just figured they're probably going to get run over, so it's better to have tires and try and make the
For
move.
sure.
Yeah.
It all goes back to when that
I don't
caution
know,
came
that
out
might be
before
sit
this
duck.
one.
Well, maybe not.
Getting to 2
I was
tires.
93,
Talked
93
about
on the
two
right,
tires.
90,
So just
91 on the left.
They heat up. The lefts are fast.
If
the
I
rights,
just
they're
didn't
cooler. They got the grip, but the lefts
run
are
out of
already
talent
heated up. So
there,
it was like the ideal
would have been
setup probably
fun.
for the couple laps.
I
you
see
down,
a
you
piece
just
of
roll to the
grass.
front, and then,
I did.
as you said,
I think it came out of your car. I saw it come
the
from the
32
back.
hits it at the same time as the 74.
That's
the
a
32
fitting
could
end of
just
the
be
season, though.
alongside Gavin
Go,
Rogers.
Nico, go,
That just
Nico.
gives
Hard.
that seals the deal for
Good
him.
job,
And
guys.
you would imagine that that's
Wasn't
right
there in
now
the
is
rookie,
on
was
the
it?
mind of Gavin Rogers. And he's
No,
gonna be doing
I don't
everything
think
he
so.
can to
I mean,
try and get the best restart
I wrecked
possible.
myself. I'm the caution, or I'm the
His
reason
best,
for it.
So we do everything that he can.
I just got loose, and then I mean, you're pushing, so
multiple points
you
that are
can't
still
lift
out
for me
to
there,
be
you know?
grabbed. If you win
Yeah,
this
no.
race, you get the 1 point.
Can't
over
get
position
loose, you
over
didn't have enough
behind
fuel
you.
in your
You
car.
also get a bonus
No, I
point
got
for
loose.
using
I got loose.
You done caught you. It's either that or you hit that piece of
I don't think that's
grass.
going to be the case. It's going to come down
I'm a
to
paid actor.
position-wise on who's going to win this. Zach Hall has a
Why do you think I have
just
chat
1
covered
point
up?
advantage
Somebody
over
made an offer I
Rogers.
couldn't refuse.
Now, the 1 point of bonus points that we're not going to know until this race is over is most laps led. Rogers was up front for a long time. Same for Zach Hall. We also saw Brian P. Johnson up there. That 1 bonus point could be critical on either a tiebreaker or setting it to a tie. We will not know until this race is over on that number. Now, again, Zach Hall and Gavin Rogers, this is just based off of the pole bonus point, stage bonus point.
It is fitting
Just
that
gonna
I
be
would just
1
run
lap
out of
led.
talent there then.
Hall and Rogers, it is a 1 point difference. Zach Hall has that
Wouldn't
point
expect it
advantage
any other way,
over
Ken.
racing off a live position.
Way the season's going.
Yeah, I've been doing it all season, so yeah.
Place would tie. Then it
Can't
would
end the
come down to
season on a high
tiebreakers
note.
of who has the most wins.
That's
Then
illegal.
If it's tied there, it would go down to the most second place finishes, and it would continue to go down until we find out who has the advantage on those tiebreaker numbers. It is going to be a lot of math after the fact, unless Zach Hall just gets in front of Gavin Rogers, or Rogers is either wins this race or is 2
This is
positions
actually
ahead of Zach Hall. This is
throwing
going to
a
be
really
a fun
big
one
wrench
to
in the
watch.
championship,
You don't want to leave
because
just
you've got
yet,
Gavin and
but
Zach
the lights
that
are still
both
on.
have
We have
old
another
tires.
way to go around.
So if one of them like
Any
gets
final
shipped
thoughts
out
before we go
and
into our
one doesn't,
first overtime attempt,
you
of
know, that could be a
potentially here
huge
tonight.
difference.
Be real interesting because one's on the bottom and one's on the
Hold it wide
top.
Open pretty much through turns 1 and 2 and carry as much momentum as you can down that front straightaway or that back straightaway and go and get the win.
Got to do the
Hope
cheese.
for the win, hope for the best. Nick Crawford teammate of Zach Hall gets up
I wish,
front.
but I don't have an
That is a critical
apron.
position to be in because that is now the control vehicle for this restart. Nick Crawford is going to be the driver when we go into the restart zone. Is going to be the driver who has to take off first. Then Zach Hall behind him. They both are in the same Discord channel. They can talk this out. They can figure out the timing. Gavin Rogers on the outside.
Are Gavin and Aaron on the same
figure
team?
out the timing, guess right, and be able to stay side by side and ahead.
Good question.
of
I'm not
Zach
sure.
Hall.
Let me see if I can see
1 point
voice
is
chat
the
real
difference
quick.
between Hall and Rogers. All that Rogers
No,
has to do
it's
is just be
Aaron
in position
Douglas
ahead
and
of
Brian
Zach Hall,
Noel.
Okay.
And they could tie. There
Is
a
Nick-
green bonus
are
point
Nick
for
and
most laps
Zach?
led that we do not
Well,
know.
I don't know what's going to happen here, but good luck to those. Looks like a good
Yes.
Gavin Rogers.
Okay.
He got the pole. He got
I
all
imagine
the most points that were needed.
Zach's gonna get a
Hall has looked
countdown.
like the dominant driver though for most of this
It's a lot
race,
more comfortable
but it
racing
is a
you
lot of
guys
drivers with
than
fresh rubber to watch out for. Nick Crawford has the lead. He's got 2 tires, freshies to watch out for behind Gavin Rogers and
Alex
Zach Hall.
Coffee, is he
They all
talking
have
about?
fresh rubber.
Might have to pull
Gavin
coffee,
Rogers
watch
and
out.
Zach Hall are the
It
only
is. Oh, God, I
drivers
hate to
on
race like that.
95 lap of rubber. Everyone else has a lot fresher ones. They're going to be a lot faster than the 75 and the 32. We'll see if they survive as we are into our first overtime attempt of 3. If we stay green and complete this first lap, this race is official when we take the white flag. But if a caution flag comes out on this first lap, we will head into overtime attempt number 2. Here we go into the restart zone. Nick Crawford, Zach Hall, they get the timing. Hall's already ahead of Rogers. Rogers needs to fight back, but it's still is moving into the inside. Here we go, Justin in turn number 1.
Oh, wow, that was a restart. That 74-32 were perfect for him. They hit it perfect. Sam coming out of turns 1 and 2. The 74 is going to have a big lead. The 32 is right there in total. The battle here, Douglas Newbiggie, Gavin Rogers, side by side going in the corner. Aaron Smith right there with them. 7's going to try and get to 3rd position.
And for Zach Hall, the only driver you got to worry about is the 75. Don't let Gavin Rogers by you. You can let the 7 drive on by, but white flag is in the air. This race is official. A champion will be crowned. Will it be the veteran or will it be the rookie? Nick Crawford dashes his way forward. A win looks almost absolute, but for second place, Zach Hall trying his best to win a championship. Gavin Rogers trying to get to the outside lane. He's not there. Douglas Newbiggie to the inside. Same for Aaron Smith the second.
championship, Zach.
Off the
Fun racing with you
board.
guys.
Crawford wins, but Zach Hall finally wins a championship in the WSSR season 9.
He's 16.
Goes to Hall.
Congratulations. Congratulations to the 74.
Let's go, Stitz.
Not afraid to go in and
yeah.
2 on
Medlin, hell yeah.
Can't wait to hear from these guys.
That was probably best finish of the season.
Second place finish. We didn't get a chance to really talk about them all night. And it comes home
Did those two
second.
beat me off the line? Oh, they did. I would have hit
They've
6.
had historic runs. And for Nick Crawford, he's going to enjoy this one, knowing that this win helps
And
him
down bomb me, maybe
for
pat.
Zach Hall, everyone's going to come by him and give a congratulational bump to that 32.
Good job,
Zach
Zach.
Hall,
Congrats,
one of the
man.
Teammate
founders
he
of
is. I
this
thought he done
series.
killed me
He found
on
himself
term.
Now. I've already,
Yeah.
I've done my killing.
so many times.
Good
He
job,
was
Zach.
behind everyone when it looked to win.
Yeah, leave it
just
to me to
races,
hold,
let alone thinking about championships.
middle of 4 wide, but yet I'm
The
going to
most
get loose
starts
with
out
like
of
2 to go.
anyone in the WSSR finally can say he is a champion in the series he's been a part of for so long, and probably one of the most competitive seasons.
Wow. Yeah.
Zach Hall is your season 9 WSSR
All right,
Cup
well,
Series champion.
that will do it for the
Enjoy
season
this
that just
one,
kept on
because
giving
I know he
right
was
up until the
stressing
very
all
end.
week,
Of course, that
but
one
he
was,
finally can
was
say
of my
he's
own
a
doing.
champion
But congrats to
for
Nick on the
third
win,
time in his
Douglas
career in
on
all leagues that he's
P2, and
ran,
Zach
but a first
running out the
time
podium spots,
WSSR
and
champion.
Zach for winning the
Congratulations to
championship.
Hall.
So
We will
congrats
talk
to him.
as well, to our
And
race winner of Nick Crawford.
yeah, we'll
Douglas
have to
Newbiggie.
roll on to next
We'll talk
season
to one of our
and
other
hope
championship
Stitz gets
drivers,
punted
get
going
their
into one.
thoughts on this
So,
season.
that'll do it from
What
here.
a race.
Thanks for watching.
What a